Everyone's getting tested. Are you getting tested? I have to get tested. We all have to get tested.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, December 26, 2021. This is your award-winning Gitmo Nation Media Assassination episode 1411.
This is No Agenda.
Ready for resilience and broadcasting live from the heart of Texas Hill Country here in FEMA Region number 6 in the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where the flow from China has slowed and the outflow has begun, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Wait a minute. First, did you have any snow there?
No.
Oh.
There's some snow on the hilltops over, let me see, Mount Tam, maybe.
Oh, okay. You know how the headlines go.
Oh, yeah, we're snowed in.
Pretty much. Atmospheric river of doom snows in San Francisco. People saying, we weren't supposed to see that ever again except in snow globes.
Yeah, no snow. We had snow two years in a row in the 70s, early 70s, and that's been the last of it.
Yeah.
It happens every 50 years. It'll happen again sometime.
Of course it will. Oh, we saw that, speaking of snow and climate change, we watched Don't Look Up last night, the DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, Cate Blanchett, Jonah Hill movie.
All the knee jerks.
You know, it was interesting because this was clearly made with, I think, as you said a week or two ago, made with climate change in mind. The whole thing is an analogy to climate change, but it was weird because of COVID. That was your thoughts would get confused. You're like, well, that's like clearly Meryl Streep is Trump and Jonah Hill is Trump Jr., and so this will be about COVID. And I think it completely fails somehow.
Oh, well, it's probably written and programmed for
much earlier
before COVID, and then produced, and they never thought twice about it.
And they just released it thinking it would still work, but I don't think it will.
They had to get in their private jets and get out of there and go do other things.
Yeah, what's her face? Von der Leyen is being slammed about that. And apparently, during the COP26, she's the president of the European Union Starfleet Command. During the COP26, she took a private jet for a 50-kilometer journey between Vienna and Bratislava. That's like under an hour of driving, and she took her jet. Now, she may have had to go somewhere else after that, but that doesn't matter. It's always fun to
yeah, well, she needed a jet nearby.
Yeah, it's always fun to accuse the elites of doing this.
You could have towed the jet.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
that is funny. Yeah, they've painted themselves into a corner on this.
Oh, they have, and in the meantime, you've got major European industrial firms saying, "Hey, we can't afford the power," so they're closing an aluminum smelter in Dunkirk. I'm sorry?
Well, that's dumb.
Well, they're closing down the French are closing down many of their nuclear plants.
I know, which is the most idiotic thing in the world. This shows you that there's something wrong in the EU.
Well, no.
France nuclear plants have been powering France for 50 years. They work great. And people point to France as a good example of how a nuclear power should work because it's standardized. It's not like our plants are all custom made. Each one's custom made like a custom car. Theirs are all standardized. And so you can get, an employee from one to work at another. It's very handy. And no, I can't do that.
I think this may be more of a setup ploy than anything. We know Bill Gates is invested in nuclear. We're hearing more and more talk about nuclear. I was hate listening to Kara Swisher and Scott Galloway, and he's always, here's what I'm investing in. Such an important man who's on market everything. And he says, "Well, I'm going to get shit for this." I should have clipped it. I'm going to get shit for this, I don't have it. But I'm investing in nuclear, and he's investing in the medium-sized nukes, which is what we've been talking about ever since Scott Adams Scott Adams, Rod Adams, Rod Adams came into our world and started talking about how safe and effective these are. And perhaps this is a ploy to shut down everything only to make it horrible, which is starting to happen. And then we can have a whole bunch of saviors pop up with great ready-made solutions, which might not take the required 10 years.
Shut down any of those French plants. They work great.
Did you not hear what I just said? Of course they're going to shut it down. Yeah, I know,
but you said it's going to be a ploy to shut them down, make things miserable, and then bring in some new technology?
Correct. Yes.
No, why?
For the money. Well, okay, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to ignore that.
All of a sudden you have faith in the global elites and leadership?
I guess I'm making a huge blunder.
Yes.
Because these plants work fine. Why do you have to shut them down and bring in some new technology? Unless you're completely corrupt. Okay, you're right.
There you go. There it is. But there is such good news.
How does the public put up with this? This reminds me of a clip I do have.
Okay.
About the Chinese. They've got 100,000 new cases of coronavirus in the UK
every second,
every minute, every day.
Yeah.
And the Chinese are shutting down again.
Yes. The Xi'an province, I think they're shutting down.
Yeah, it's in this report. New China lockdown.
Authorities in China have placed 13 million people under strict lockdown amid a coronavirus outbreak in the city of Xi'an. Officials there have confirmed more than 250 cases in the past 2 weeks. The Xi'an government has now banned all citizens from going outside in principle and is requiring them to take PCR tests. One person per household is allowed to go out once every 2 days to buy daily necessities.
Now, we had this story on Thursday. There was something else that adds to it, which I can't remember.
Besides this story, I cut it off there. It goes on and on about the other stuff. But the Chinese seem to be, as a people, which they like to call themselves the Chinese people, to be outrageously compliant.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like an ant colony. This is ridiculous that they're putting up with this. 250? We have 250 in San Francisco. That's low, by the way. It's much higher than that. But it's like at this point, and they went on about they have a zero COVID tolerance policy, which again is what New Zealand has. And with this new Omicron, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Well, could we consider that they're just like Omicron, the whole thing, rerunning the script?
Yeah, but it's hard to rerun a script on something that's as lame as Omicron.
No, what do you? Oh my goodness! You need to talk. You need to talk to some people.
Common cold.
No. You need to talk to some people. Even though people know it's a common cold, they are freaking out. They are being driven to the brink.
I will say, because I'm listening to the Black what is it?
Black News Network.
Yeah, something like that. They have a local affiliate here, and it's a good channel. They got good news coverage, and they have really left-wing nutball, mostly white, talk show hosts. And the guy who runs it has got Omicron, and he comes on. And he goes, "Oh my God, I've had all the shots and the boosters, and I got Omicron, and so far." He says it's just the sniffles, and he's moaning about it. And he says, "It's deadly." And he goes and he says, "It's people have got to take this more seriously." And he says, "Guy's got the sniffles, and he feels like he's going to die any minute."
We know
this is unbelievable.
Three people just yesterday alone who either family or friends very close to us, and who have 2/3 of those who have been vaccinated and boosted and have had COVID and are still freaking out because they don't listen to this show enough. For sure. They don't listen to it. And they're being driven to the brink of insanity. And let's just throw down a little lockdown. They haven't really propagated that news well, but let's just listen to a couple other things. CBS.
According to one projection from researchers at the University of Washington, nearly 3 million Americans could be infected each day by the end of January. The model estimates total infections beyond the number confirmed from tests. Advice from one scientist.
So if somebody has been vaccinated a long time ago, he or she need to go and get a booster as soon as possible. If somebody has been infected a long time ago, because there is a waning immunity from infection and from vaccines.
And what they've done,
sounds like Jackie Mason.
What they've done is they've put the fear into everybody. Not enough tests. I just got a text from our friend Andrew Horowitz. Can't find a test anywhere. And I'm thinking to myself, Andrew has been vaccinated, had COVID, and now he's running around Florida trying to find a test? Yeah, and this is also very American. Oh, man, we got a test. There's a 4-hour line. Let's get in the line. I'm in the line. I'm in the line. Yeah.
Well, here's a local report. This is COVID test mania from our local station, KPIX.
Hold on a second. COVID. Yeah, got it.
Well, one of the items in highest demand this holiday season, a COVID test. And in the East Bay, tons of people were trying to get tested today, but dozens were turned away. KPIX5's Dial In reports on how the test shortage is bringing down the holiday spirits.
All the Bay Area drugstores are sold out of the COVID home test kits, and most county and state-run test sites are closed on Christmas Eve. This was the line in front of Friendship Christian Church in West Oakland. About 50 to 60 people waited for the church to open. The Alameda County website says this was one of 2 locations in the entire county opened for testing starting at noon. Problem was...
Now, a couple of things about this. 60 people lined up, which is a good long line, to wait for these tests, and which the place never opened because it never was going to open. And here's a question for you. Say that you're fearful that you have some horrible COVID.
I know where you're going already. How would you feel about standing in line with 59 other
60 people who all think they're sick?
But that's the joke of it. People aren't thinking about that.
I'm not going to go stand in line with a bunch of people that think they're sick or are sick. They all might be at terminal illness of COVID, waiting for their test. I don't want to be in that line. What is wrong with people?
They are in mass formation, are being scared, are given an out. The out now is testing. It does. If they said you need to wear a pink sweater with a bow on your head, people would do it. This has nothing to do with rationality at all. The test, all of a sudden, they're just pushing the test. I cannot wait for Bill Gates to decloak with his new test because we know...
He better hurry up because now's the money.
Well, you know that who's this other guy, this scientist, who just had a home molecular COVID test approved by the FDA.
Yeah.
He did it while cruising on his mega yacht.
Yeah, it's stories going around.
Yeah,
all right, let's finish.
But it's an approved test, so it's time to use testing as whatever mechanism.
The Alameda County website says this was one of 2 locations in the entire county opened for testing starting at noon. Problem was, it was bad information. Like most East Bay test sites, the church was closed.
It's just really disappointing, honestly.
Standing in line on a cold day with a bunch of people is not exactly what you want to do.
Rebecca, her husband, and their infant daughter were among the folks waiting. Their babysitter spent 3 hours in their home and just tested positive for COVID.
Stop. You have to visualize this. She's there with her mask on. The baby's got a mask on, and the husband's there. And what do I see when I just hear bitching about the fact this is a waste of time standing in this line? Apple Watch. I don't know why.
Apple Watch.
She's got an Apple Watch. I'm looking at that going, I don't know what to think.
Apple Watch people are exactly the kind who stand in line for an Apple Watch or for it. This is so American, I have to say, to just it's like hoarding gasoline. Oh, shortage. Look, testing is the new toilet paper. Exactly.
We're among the folks waiting. Their babysitter spent 3 hours in their home and just tested positive for COVID.
We'll quarantine for 14 days and see.
They're going to quarantine for 14 days? What?
On that
Tested positive for COVID.
We'll quarantine for 14 days and see.
What kind of people are this who are doing these things? They're trying to reduce
Apple Watch Grill.
Apple Watch Grill.
If there's any symptoms, and just try and keep on attempting to get a PCR test. But definitely had to cancel plans for any family gathering.
Many people in this line plan to do the same. Cancel.
We will most likely just be doing drop-bys and dropping off presents, it looks like, which is fine. Rather to be safe than sorry, for sure.
This community test center was Carissa Parati's last hope after failing to buy a home test kit this week.
Everything has been sold out. San Leandro, Hayward, all of Oakland. I've been calling Walmart, CVS, everything.
We're Kaiser patients, and the first COVID test that was available was December 29.
And what does... I don't understand.
Does this sound like panic to you? You call every Walmart in the whole region, and you call every CVS, and you're calling. And by the way, this is just hanging up the phones on all. You know, everyone else is doing this too. This is nuts.
This has got to be the last throes of the mass formation.
Let's hope so.
Well, they're not. You know, there are some good signs actually. Yeah. The first
play part 2 and then tell me what they are.
Hold on. Oh, you have a part 2 of this?
Yeah, it goes on. And it doesn't. I didn't. It could have gone longer.
I am frustrated because there's a rise in cases now with the holidays and people are gathering. There's no place to get the test.
Many say it doesn't make sense that most test sites are closed when demand is at its peak on Christmas Eve. Karen Baca says she has a headache and was recently exposed to an infected person.
We'll probably cancel. We'll probably have to cancel or try and keep away from everybody.
I went to drugstores in 4 different cities today. San Francisco, Berkeley, Oakland, and here in Alameda. Those home test kits, all gone. As mentioned, most Bay Area test sites closed today. Called Marin County, that one site that was open today. In Alameda, I'm Don Lynn, KPIX 5.
Yeah, so this...
I have a headache. I must have COVID.
Now, if you just step back and look at it with some rationality, people are afraid of something that they know isn't really that bad, but they just need to get tested. Everyone's getting tested. Are you getting tested? I have to get tested. We all have to get tested. It's hysteria. It is absolute hysteria. I have a short clip too.
Tonight, the last-minute rush for COVID tests in the final moments before Christmas.
Can't find it anyplace. CVS, ShopRite, Walgreens, Walmart. Everybody's at them.
In Queens, New York, dozens desperate for at-home tests devolving into chaos and disorder.
Those people are not in line. Don't give them one.
Hundreds of cars in Los Angeles County snaking their way to a testing site, and in Georgia, this church offering tests hours before Christmas Eve service after months of promoting the vaccine.
It makes no sense at all. But I have 3 examples, some good examples that people are starting to break out of mass formation, or they're slowly starting to slip out of it. The first one is the Netherlands. The word of the year, which was voted on out of, and I think it was an online vote, so this clearly can be gamed, but it was gamed in an interesting way. By far, number 1 word of the year for the Netherlands in Dutch is prikspijt, which means jab regret. And that was number 1 by, 50%. Jab regret.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Now, they tried to turn it around a little bit, which failed, saying, oh, that's clearly people who regret not getting it.
Yeah, that would be the way I try to. I would spin it the exact way. Yeah, that's what you do.
But now you predicted this would come next year. I think it's already happening. I think Scott Adams is breaking loose. Yes.
I read about this. I haven't heard his.
No, I'm not interested in playing clips of his podcast. Here's what he tweeted. he tweeted a book from John Haidt, Haidt, and there's a quote from that book: "Humans always make gut decisions and rationalize them later. Our brains are not capable of processing the myriad of information or removing our biases. It is only the narrow world of science that we can begin to remove bias and view things rationally." So Scott Adams tweets this, and his tweet says, "You can't be certain you've made the right decision or the right vaccination choice. You can't be certain you made the right vaccination choice and also believe in science. That would be inconsistent. I believe in science. 95% of you will disagree with me, insisting you made a rational decision. I know I didn't. Once you realize you didn't either, we can talk." So and he's had a couple of tweets like this. What he's saying now is, whether you took the vaccine or not, it was not a rational decision by you or by Scott Adams. And so now that he regrets it, which I think he does because it's not working, now that he regrets it, instead of saying, "Shit, I regret that," he's saying, "Hey, I made a bad choice. It wasn't because I'm stupid. It's because no one makes the right choice." And I'm like, no, Scott, this is so, it's like, if you're making a gut decision, did you just wake up and go, "Oh, I got to take it. Oh, got to take vaccine, got to take it." When I hear vaccine, I'm always like, I should contemplate that for a second. So
yeah, well, I don't think I think the general public, they're not like China.
No.
But I think the general public can easily be talked into stuff by marketing forces. But they've overdone it. I think this is the real issue here that needs to be thought about.
Well, but I guess what I'm saying is, because we know 30% are hypnotized, 30% completely not hypnotized in the mass formation, 40% they're in the middle. There's this one video you may have seen going around. It's about 1:45, and it's kind of not really a hidden camera, but someone just holding their cell phone recording. The audio is surprisingly good. And this is a woman who clearly had no intention of getting the vaccination, but she goes to her local, it may have been a CVS or a Walgreens, to get a vaccination. And then she starts off by saying, "Hey, can I see the insert?" And we know that the insert for all the vaccines that are currently on the market, approved or not, have nothing in them. They're blank. We've known that for months and months. So she points this out. Listen to this pharmacist slowly realizing he's a fucking idiot, and he'll say it. He'll admit it.
That's from the Moderna vaccine.
Okay, Moderna. Is it the same for Pfizer and all of the others?
Each brand is a little different.
Okay, so may I take this with me to look at all of the safety studies, placebo safety studies on this?
Yeah, because the one that we give. Because the one that's given to patients doesn't contain that information. So that.
Which one are they giving if it's not this one?
No, that's the one. That is the one we are giving.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the package insert given to patients isn't the full information.
So it's not from the manufacturer themselves.
That is from the manufacturer, but it's truncated. That's the full thing.
So why is it intentionally blank if it's all the safety studies and stuff?
They're inside.
So now he's unfolding it.
Okay.
This is the best. It's priceless expression. The whole thing is blank.
I've got to get online and find it.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I already know that it's intentionally blank. My last question is, how is it informed consent when all of the safety studies, placebo safety studies, are not listed from the manufacturer?
Here we go.
That's a great question. I would talk to CVS about that because.
Okay. So if we don't know what we're injecting into ourselves, I don't understand how that's informed consent.
That you're exactly right.
Okay.
And you're exactly right.
Yeah.
And you are correct. I should not be giving these vaccines at all.
Okay. Why are you giving them?
Because I am told to, and that's how. Because I am told to, and I am told.
I understand that.
And everything I have shown, including the patients that I have given it to, it is safe.
It is safe and effective. What studies are you going by that states that it's safe and effective? I know these are tough questions, but I have to ask.
I know, and I'm sorry, but
you can't answer. So I understand that.
I unfortunately cannot answer that,
okay.
And I feel it. And right now, I'm feeling totally inadequate.
Poor guy. So it dawned on him, and it came out of his mouth. Like, you're right. I shouldn't be giving you the vaccines. I'm just doing what I'm told to do. And
and he says safe and effective, and then he realizes he has no data for that. He's just saying it.
And his brain fries. Exactly.
Well, the pharmacist I use, which is it's the same thing. They're doling this stuff out, and I asked them about ivermectin. Yeah. Not that I wanted any because I got my little pack, but I just asked, you guys give prescription? Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Because it's not approved as a treatment for COVID. And if somebody even had a prescription for it, we won't give it to them.
Yeah, well, you are in California. It varies, I think, from pharmacy to pharmacy.
Yeah, obviously it varies from pharmacy to pharmacy. Yeah. But they've gotten the word. Yeah. But it's just that this is not pharmacists anymore. They're pill counters. The good old, you had one of the last pharmacists some years ago when you had the pharmacy, the
compounding
pharmacist. Those guys are chemists. They're real pharmacists. They mix things up. They put them in pills. They do all these things. These other guys are just pill counters. They don't do anything.
Well, not just pill counters, but according to the lawsuits about opioids, I'd say pill pushers might be even, except when it comes to stuff that's not profitable for the industry. Then
that would be ivermectin for sure.
Correct. Jake Tapper is in the full-on mass formation. Now, Jake Tapper always has a big mouth outside of his CNN show, going on podcasts, spouting off, and he's tweeting that Robert Kennedy Jr. has gone insane. His family is so embarrassed they have to keep writing op-eds to recorrect the lies that he's telling. So Robert F. Kennedy threw down the gauntlet.
Hey, everybody, this is Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Hey, notice he's getting better with this Instagram. Hey, everybody. Hey, guys. He should start. Hey, guys.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Hey, remember to smash that like button.
Hey, everybody, this is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and this is an invitation to Jake Tapper.
No, we've listened to so much Robert F. Kennedy Jr. that it's us. It's the same voice. We just have filtered it better.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
We heard it. After a while, it's like listening to somebody with a Cockney accent. You can't understand a word they say, but once you pick it up, they're clear as a bell.
True.
Hey, everybody, this is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and this is an invitation to Jake Tapper. Jake, I was surprised to see you on TV and on your Twitter account calling me names, a menace, a grifter, a liar, etc. We all need to now be role models. We need to have a conversation with each other. So I want to invite you to have a debate or just a conversation. Let's do this in a way that we have an independent fact checker. I will meet you anywhere, anytime, or on Zoom. But let's talk about vaccine mandates on our health policies, like masking, like social distancing, like lockdowns, all of the other issues that people are angry about. Thank you. I hope you'll consider this.
I just need to pause for a moment, and we all need to consider what has changed in such a short amount of time. This is a Kennedy, a respected Kennedy up until 2 years ago.
Yeah, until he
Special Olympics Kennedy. He's Special Olympics Kennedy. This is the good dude, the do-gooder. And now
he is a do-gooder. Yeah, it's true.
And now it's like, oh no, he's asking for Jake Tapper, please step out of yourself for a moment. But the psyop, we need to. Okay, I have a real problem. Fauci did it with Santa. I have a problem with using children lies about Santa Claus, which does it really have a function anymore in society to keep this secret? We have to have a secret. What are we actually teaching our children, if you think about it? To lie up until you're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. And then to take Canada's chief public health officer and psyop the children with this nonsense, which they will never see anyway, unless it's spread on YouTube and their parents force them to watch it.
Hi kids, just popping in with an update to let you know everything is shaping up nicely for Christmas Eve. Santa, Mrs. Claus, and all the eligible elves have had their booster shots. Santa is well kitted out in the best layers of protection. His mask is well fitted and the sleigh is naturally ventilated. So I am happy to report that Santa has the all clear to take off. I'm also happy to report that all of the reindeer are healthy and symptom-free. But just to be extra sure, Rudolph has had his COVID-19 test to confirm his red nose is not a COVID-19 concern. Hey, hello, Dr. New. Are you checking on Rudolph's COVID-19 test results?
Hello, Dr. Tan. I was just looking at Rudolph's results. I can confirm the results are negative and he's free and clear to guide the sleigh on Christmas Eve.
Wonderful. I guess that red nose really is just to light the way.
What is
Hold
the point?
on a second.
What is the point?
This is a big lie.
No kidding.
No, I want you to play CBS report.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that Canada is lying about the state of Santa?
COVID. Now, this is a part 4 of a 4-parter on travel. I just slipped it in as the kicker. So now it's out of context, but it's not completely. Just play COVID, Christmas travel, 4. Santa.
And Nancy, the World Health Organization, also said today Santa is immune from COVID, so we do have some good news there ahead of Christmas. Nancy Chen, thank you.
What? He's immune?
According to the World Health Organization. So these Canadians are just lying about the vaccines. They're just pushing the vax.
Okay, let's see if the United Kingdom can do it better. What? How? Let's not use Santa. Let's go straight to the big man himself.
And I hope I can be forgiven for taking pride in the immense spirit of neighbourliness that the people of this country have shown. Getting jabbed, not just for themselves, for ourselves, but for friends and family and everyone we meet. And that, after all, is the teaching of Jesus Christ, whose birth is at the heart of this enormous festival.
Is that a stretch, perhaps?
Holy moly!
Getting vaccinated is really the way of Christ.
That we should love our neighbours as we love ourselves.
Oh, you should love your neighbor the way you love yourself. I love my neighbor so much, I'm not getting vaccinated. I think I'm still good.
And so let's think of all those who are being good neighbours and thinking of others. All those in the NHS working over Christmas, our care workers, everyone involved in the incredible vaccination campaign, those looking after people who have lost loved ones this year and who would otherwise be on their own.
Now, testing is okay if you live in New York or California and you obediently get in a line with 60, 100, maybe 200 potentially seething infected human resources. Yeah. Now, that's just the compliant. But see, when you do that in Florida, now then you're a dick.
Florida today recording a record 32,800 cases as testing lines blanket this park, spilling into streets. On the same site, there's vaccinations offered in this parking lot. And as you can see, it's empty. 5 minutes in and out, which is part of the problem. The unwillingness of millions to get the shot, leading frontline workers to witness harrowing last regrets.
When someone is dying in front of your face and you see in their eyes the guilt, what if I would have gotten the vaccine? That is what we see, and that's what's hard to deal with.
You see the guilt, not regret, the guilt. So he's saying he sees people dying, and in their eyes he sees guilt that they didn't take the vaccine into their life. Really? Guilt. And it's the hardest for him. It's hard for him to deal with it.
Well, he's screwed up. When I hear this thing about the parking lot, they're giving you shots in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. This reminds me of the stories in the 1920s when lobotomies were freely given, and people were lined up for them in Central Park.
Yeah, what's the difference?
To get a lobotomy, because you could do a lobotomy with this needle that goes right behind the eyeball and it could clip the frontal lobes. And people felt so much better during this era of frustration, I guess. I don't know what you'd want to do this for, but it was popular.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sick. It's sick. You're not even going to the doctor or getting anybody, just having some rando give you a shot out of the blue. I mean, really, that's what it is.
Here's Hotez. Now, Hotez, the doctor in
that guy.
Dallas.
He's all over CBS, and he doesn't look healthy.
So, and we know that Hotez has his own vaccine operation, which he finally just admits now. He's always brought in as a specialist and rarely disclosed that he has massive government funding, millions of dollars, for his own vaccination system, his own vaccine that he's developing with his own little group there. He finally unveils that, but not until he tries to scare you, because even though Omicron, hey, I mean, it's not all that bad, but just imagine if it was. Just imagine if it was bad.
So society is going to begin the ending of this by starting to live their life among the virus. What do you think of that?
I'd say that's a fairly high-risk strategy, Katie. I mean, in some ways, we may be somewhat lucky in that the Omicron variant may turn out to be less virulent, cause less severe disease than previous ones. What if that wasn't the case? What if not only it had the escape mutations, but also produced far more severe disease, and that would cause tremendous instability? So here's what we need to do. We need to vaccinate the world. The Alpha variant arose out of an unvaccinated population in the UK last year. Delta rose out of an unvaccinated population in India earlier this year. So what did we think was going to happen if we allowed the entire African continent to go unvaccinated, or 6% vaccinated? So this was both predicted and predictable. And until there's a global commitment, until the Biden administration, for instance, decides to come up with a plan to vaccinate the world, which they haven't, until the Biden administration decides they want to exert some leadership, which they so far haven't, we're going to continue to have this problem. So we're doing what we can at our Texas Children's Center for Vaccine Development. We're hoping our vaccine, in collaboration with Biological E, will be released for emergency use any day now in India. The Indian government has done an advanced purchase of 300 million doses. And if that happens, our Texas Children's Center for Vaccine Development will be doing more to vaccinate the world than the entirety of the United States government. And it's not that we're so wonderful. It's just that the U.S. government and the other G7 countries are not stepping up.
Oh, I'm so glad he's in our life.
Who's this guy kidding?
Well, he's doing the same that everyone else is doing, ratcheting up the fear, like Dr. Jonathan Reiner on CNN.
And if you're unvaxxed, what happens if you get COVID?
If you're unvaxxed, what happens?
There's a tsunami coming. This Omicron variant is extraordinarily contagious. It's as contagious as measles, and that's about the most contagious virus that we've seen. This may be the most contagious virus that civilization has faced in our lifetimes.
Man.
So why would you go into that kind of battle completely unarmed? Our vaccines will protect you, particularly if you are triple vaxxed. People who are unvaxxed should start the process now. Go ahead and go to your pharmacy and get vaccinated.
Yeah, so here we go. We're finally there. The Brooklyn millennial, double vax, boosted, had COVID. Now it's Omicron. It just never stops. It never stops.
Well, there are a number of observers, and there's papers that document some of this. This vaccine knocks your immune system for a loop, and you'll probably just get all kinds of sicknesses. Who knows what else you'll contract?
Yeah, I've read that. It can. It does something to. I'm very careful with these things. Of course, it's very different for each individual person, but it can. For some, it can absolutely affect your overall immune system. But also, I think what I've read specifically for Omicron, your body has been trained now to make a different kind of spike protein or whatever the heck it's supposed to be doing, and you're not even prepared at all to do this. And I see it's so interesting when you get a lot of email for a podcast, and I'm seeing all these people saying, "Yep, I got it now. It's not bad." And everyone says the same thing: "It's not bad, not bad." But so many people are getting it now, and mainly those who've had vaccination and
almost all of them,
and the booster.
And the argument goes like this in the mass formation. It goes like this: well, yeah, I got Omicron, but it's less than someone who didn't get who's unvaccinated.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not as bad as if you were unvaccinated. The thing is, and I'll point this out. All the people that I know that are unvaccinated have not gotten Omicron.
Yeah. Or
only people that are vaccinated have gotten it. So I don't know how you can make this comparison because I don't know anyone who's got it.
I do. I definitely know a couple.
That have unvaccinated.
Yes. Where husband has not been vaccinated, wife was vaccinated, both have Omicron. They're both fine. It's not like one is more severely sick than the other.
Yeah, that's got to be the case. Yeah, it would be the same.
Yeah, it's more or less the
What
same.
makes you think that vaccine is going to do anything to this totally new variant that's not affected by it? Doesn't make any sense.
If you listen to the news, then you learn a lot, okay? You learn why. It's really important, and we're going to change some things around here.
I want to talk to you about boosters. The EU is now requiring the booster in order to call yourself fully vaccinated. Israel has started talking about a fourth shot, meaning another booster. You wrote an opinion in the Washington Post in which you say, if you're in a position to decide whether to create a vaccination requirement, you do not need to wait for definitive data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. A decade from now, you won't look back on the temporary disruption the same way you would if there was a super spreader event that was in your control to stop. You're arguing for boosters becoming sort of mainstream for everybody to get them.
Look, I think Omicron changes the definition of fully vaccinated and the protection you get from fully vaccinated to having that third shot. So I hope everybody out there goes and gets that third shot because I think it makes an enormous difference, a 20-fold increase in your antibody response. Now, the good news is that even if you don't have that, the 2 shots alone are still likely to protect you against hospitalization. They're not as likely as if you got a booster. And, when it comes to our lives, I don't think anybody wants to play games. So the data is very important to look at. So Omicron changes things. It means that we should be getting 3 shots. In terms of things like 4 shots, et cetera, I think, the way to think about this is there will be a period of time, maybe it'll be a year, maybe it'll be 6 months, maybe it'll be some different period, with which we'll want to re-up our shots just like we do with the flu. But for now, this 3-dose base seems like, from what science is showing us, really, really critical in the fight.
So sick of people saying what the science says, what the science is showing us. Science doesn't talk. Science doesn't show anything. Shut up.
No. So another data point that's coming around and this is getting verified more and more, is that these shots have a 90-day lifespan.
I have that too from This Week in Virology.
And so every 90 days, these things crap out. So you have to get a shot every 90 days. And it brings us back to the Tony Kornheiser clip I had in the last show where he says, well, if they tell me to get a shot every day, I will.
So let's listen to a virologist. This is, what's his name? Dr. I'll get his name in a second. He was on This Week in Virology, which is a netcast, as you know. And he kind of confirmed this and the same preference.
Yeah, I mean, we are not really sort of factoring infection into our booster recommendations because we're not really sure what exact level. We don't have a blood test, as I sort of reiterated again today. So go ahead. I would go ahead and get that shot. What we do think is for about 4 months after these shots, you're getting a vaccine efficacy against infection. Vince, you'll be happy to hear that people at Pfizer would like us to get vaccinated every 4 months. I have to say I'm okay with that. I'm very pro-vaccine. But yeah, so we don't really count that. Go ahead, get that booster. Next thing you know, we'll be like Israel. We'll be getting our shots every 4 months. So
yeah, Israel is doing 4 now, which is contrary to some experts now. Israel does not have a medical mandate from their medical experts to do this. They're saying, well, maybe not necessary, but they're just going ahead and doing it. This is groundbreaking now. Now they're doing it even without their medical guys and gals saying it's a good thing. So, okay. In the meantime, we see a couple of problems cropping up, mainly with staff. We know that hospital staff is down. Many have left for early retirement. Many are sick and tired of the whole shebang, and many left because they didn't want to participate in the mandate. And now New York has to change something. And, despite the severity of this virus, despite we hear people in California will quarantine for 14 days. New York is changing.
And New York is enduring the most rapid spread, shattering its daily infection record again with 44,000 cases, up 53% in 48 hours.
This is not the same situation we had in March of 2020 or even last winter's surge. We've had more testing and we've had more opportunities, but also we know that hospitalizations are continuing to rise.
And with Omicron crippling staffing, New York now shortening the isolation period for asymptomatic essential workers to just 5 days. That comes a day after the CDC says healthcare workers can cut their isolation period to 7 days. The nation's largest nurses union now blasting the move, saying it will only result in further transmission, illness, and death. President Biden saying his advisors think the general public should keep isolating for 10 days.
Well, I just listened to my team, the docs, and they think we should keep it the way it is for now.
Yeah, they're running into problems, so I guess it's not that dangerous, or maybe asymptomatic spread isn't really a thing.
Yeah, I have a similar clip. I don't know where it fits into one of my more elaborate series, but yeah, there's this, I have to go and say, well, they're going to change it to 7 days and then go to 5 and then 10 and 6.
Here's
they
where
don't know what they're doing. They're just making it up as they go along.
Well, here's where I think it comes from. Now, first of all, we know that asymptomatic spread is just bullcrap. That's the big lie. The big lie is you need to get vaccinated so you don't spread it to somebody else. Now, if you're not sick, you don't have symptoms, it's not going to happen. This is, I think, what went down. The National Football League, NFL chief medical officer is saying the data, that's also known as science, shows asymptomatic individuals are not spreading COVID-19. So they want their guys out on the field. Hey, they're not symptomatic. They're not spreading. We can test it. I guess now they can test it.
Yeah, they could always test it.
More than 94% of the players and nearly 100% of coaches are vaccinated. But they're not symptomatic. They just tested positive. And speaking of big lies, we know exactly what happened, and I'm kicking myself. We should have warned people about it. I'm really mad. We could have done this on Thursday. I'm sorry.
For many travelers, it's the nightmare before Christmas.
It's terrible. I want to cry.
United and Delta putting the blame on Omicron infections, grounding flight crews and operations staff.
They're telling us it's at least 3 days to get any of us anywhere near LA or Hawaii to go where we need to go.
Earlier this week, Delta warned of possible staffing shortages as the company requested shortened isolation times for vaccinated workers who test positive. Late Thursday, as some hospitals encounter staffing issues, the CDC shortened the recommended isolation time for infected healthcare workers from 10 days to 7, as long as they don't show symptoms and test negative.
So this is a lie. We know, and we discussed, and I'm mad. We should have been able to predict certainly any month that has 31 days, you're going to run into the 100-hour FAA limit for all flight crew. You remember our producer sent in this elaborate note about how it actually works and said avoid months with 31 days? Because the pilots, they fly 100 hours. Of course,
but this every year, every Christmas, every year.
But it's worse now.
Yeah, well, I have a series of the same clips. Only I have 4 of them, except the 4th one, which is the Santa clip, which we did, which was on CBS, which was a kind of an elaborate. I think that was a cutout of the elaborate Xmas travel.
But can I just say, and I want you to play these. That's the whole point. It happens all the time because of the 100-hour rule.
Yeah.
It's nothing to do with COVID.
Year they bitch. There's always something going on about travel issues on Christmas. Yeah, we should just tell them, don't travel on Christmas or take a car.
That's better. Don't you want to do those clips?
Yeah, let's do them. You'll hear a couple of things we already played.
That's okay.
This is an elaborate report on CBS which ended with the punchline that Santa is immune. Hey.
All right.
We begin tonight with
Unfortunately, the punchline is now ruined, but let's play the rest.
It's okay. I'd even play it again just because it was funny.
We begin tonight with the rise in Omicron cases causing travel nightmares for holiday travelers.
Nightmares.
Airlines have canceled more than 1,000 flights here in the U.S.
Oh, by the way, can I stop for a second and go into executive producer,
notes,
a TV douchebag broadcast guy?
Oh yeah, please do. Do you want me to toss? Do you need me to toss to you, or what do you need? We're evaluating. We're evaluating. I got it.
I'm evaluating, and you always have these disclaimers so that we don't sound like a couple of male douchebags as we do this.
Did she not look good? Was her hair off? Makeup good? Lighting problems?
Her name's Jamie. Mm-hmm. She took the place of Nora because everybody in the next 2 weeks except us have taken off and gone to the Bahamas, or they've gone to some place where there's super spreader events.
Yes.
They're all gone. So this woman, Jamie, who's a anchor, she's not in the league.
Is it Jamie Erdahl? Is that her name? Erdahl?
It could be. It's something like that.
Blonde. She's blonde.
She's a bleach. Well, she's had a gray. I don't know what color her hair is. It's hard. It's blonde, right. Blondish. Mm-hmm. But if it's the same one, she could easily take Nora's job. And the reason is I was trying to figure out what is wrong with Nora, that they're going to get rid of her, and what's good about her. And then I remember Kelly, the girl Kelly Evans on CNBC, who I like a lot too, as a news reader.
Mm-hmm.
So this girl, she's a little stockier, but she looks good behind the behind the desk. She can fix that. She has, and it's hard to explain it until you watch her, but she has a perpetual smile on her face. When her mouth is downturned, it's a downturned smile. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
The girls who have a kind of a downturn, they can downturn their mouth and it's still smiling.
You mean the resting bitch face is still a smile?
It's always a smile.
Yeah.
Everything underlying everything she does is a smile, and it's hard to explain it until you watch her.
No, I see it now. There's a great picture, a great Getty image of her doing, a bit like, who was the woman from House of Cards? What's her name now?
No, I can't remember.
Robin.
Robin. Yeah, she. Although she can look menacing.
Yeah, that's when
this woman doesn't look like she can do that.
Right.
So everything she does, every expression she has an underlying pleasantness to it that is very easy to watch, and she's very pretty. She's a really pretty woman, but the pleasantness in her face is just easy to handle. Nora, on the other hand, her natural look is a grimace.
Sourpuss.
She's sour. She can put a beauty when she flashes a big smile.
Yeah.
Boom! I've got a big smile. I can do it. It's gorgeous. She's got a great smile, but that's not her look. Her look is a sour, dour, grimacing, menacing person. I don't know why they've kept her as long as they have. When they have somebody like this waiting in the wings, she'd be perfect. This girl, Jamie. Anyway, that's my analysis.
I like it. We'll take it under consideration. We'll keep our eye on her. I think this is a very good development. We've had a problem with Nora for a while now.
And she's since the beginning.
Quite honestly, she's been acting up a little bit in some of the meetings, and I think we should
definitely
maybe just backbench her for just a bit.
We'll put her on assignment. According to the trades, she's on the chopping block.
Let's put her on assignment. Assignment.
That's what you do. Yeah, she's going to be on assignment for a while.
I'm Jamie Yuccas. I'm Jamie Yuccas. In for Nora O'Donnell, who's on assignment. you're out.
When you hear that, you know it's over.
Yep, that's the end of it.
We begin tonight with the...
Hey, don't listen to your voicemail when you get home, Nora.
We begin tonight with the rise in Omicron cases causing travel nightmares for holiday travelers. Airlines have canceled more than 1,000 flights here in the U.S. and over 3,000 worldwide because employees are getting infected by the virus. In the last week, the number of average daily cases is up 45%. That surge is attributed to the fast-spreading Omicron variant. There is one bit of good news. Hospitalizations remain flat, hovering around 60,000 patients, suggesting that Omicron infections have been less severe than the deadly Delta strain. Despite the COVID surge, President Biden and the First Lady try to bring some Christmas Eve cheer to kids at Children's National Hospital here in the nation's capital. The first couple spoke with children and their families and answered calls to NORAD's Santa tracking service. And good news, Santa is right on schedule. CBS's Nancy Chen joins us from New York City. Good evening, Nancy. A lot of other people not on schedule.
Let's just stay in our television executive producer mode for a moment. Is there any data to show that this obvious hoax of Santa, he's okay, they do it they've done it since I've been a kid. Does it really matter anymore when it's the CBS evening news? I mean, or is it just insulting now?
No,
kids don't watch this.
Well, you also do, my favorite of these whole things is NORAD.
Well, this year NORAD was a good one.
What?
This year NORAD was a good one. You saw it, right?
No.
Oh my goodness. Yes. The president and the first lady were talking to NORAD on the Santa tracker, and they had people calling in, I think military personnel calling in, and this happened.
I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. I agree. Hey, by the way, where are you in Oregon?
It's so embarrassing for the country.
Embarrassing for the country.
The whole world is in on this joke.
Everybody's seen this clip. The whole clip is actually pretty elaborate because the guy strings him along for a long time before. I thought personally,
setup,
that this was the rudest. I think this was extremely rude, and we've defended the fact that they go after Trump when he was president. And they tried to humiliate him. I thought this was extremely rude that this became such a big deal. It was a humiliation. Biden obviously didn't know what the hell he's talking about. Let's go, Brandon. He's been mentioned before, and he's already forgotten about it. I just think it's an insult to the presidency.
I wondered, they interviewed this guy later. He's like, "Oh man, I didn't mean anything bad by it." I think it was a setup.
Oh, I agree. It was totally a setup. Why would you say, "Let's go, Brandon"? Out of the blue?
A very mean setup towards an old man.
Yeah, I thought it was rude. I thought it was bad form. I didn't like it. But it was funny. I am not going to say it wasn't funny.
But it was embarrassing for our nation. That the whole in the Netherlands, people like, "Let's go, Brandon." They know it.
Yeah,
they know it. Everyone knows it. All right, back to your Christmas.
Well, back to this anyway. Back to the Santa thing first, which is that I think they just do it because it's a tradition. I don't think anybody's thinking twice about it.
Yeah, but as television executives, this has to stop. This is dumb.
I don't think I would be if I was around the table, I would probably say no to that idea.
To stopping?
Yeah.
Well, you saw.
I'd be a tradition. I say no. I don't see what benefit. There's a slow news cycle.
I will tell you. Did you see the video that our producer sent to us from Norway about Santa Claus? About a 5-minute video came in this morning.
I did not.
Might not have. So in Norway, they had this very elaborate, beautifully shot. It's a public service announcement.
Oh, right. No, I did. Yeah.
And it's this guy.
PSYOP.
Yeah. Yes, sir. It's this guy watching. He's an older guy, like adult, like 50. He's watching Santa Claus. Santa Claus. He's very surprised Santa's real and Santa's unpacking stuff. And this goes on for a long time. And then the payoff is they're together, the two Santas, a Santa and the man. And then they embrace and they kiss some more. And they kiss longer, and then we zoom out, and it's Norway. letting you love who you want to love for 50 years. See, that's where we should go. That's the direction. Norway is ahead of the game. We, with our
again, everyone gay.
Again, hey, I'm going to, after your travel thing, I'm going to play you the biggest psyop of all, because that's all that it is right now on television.
And by the way, I want to mention this because I did see that, and I sent a note back to you. Norway has been doing psyops on its own people for 10, 15 years, ever since we started doing this show.
Yeah.
And I can't figure out who's it to benefit.
Well, I think for the oil. It's just for the oil.
Yeah, but who wants this oil? They're not. Norway's interesting because it's not in the EU.
Right. Maybe to bring them in line.
There may be some element of that. Mm-hmm. There's something up with Norway.
Be gay. Come to Europe. Join the EU. I don't know.
Be gay. Go to Norway. Get out of our town. Okay, so
it was. By the way, it was a beautifully shot. The whole thing was beautiful. It was a very tender moment. It's just like, okay, we're still doing Rudolph. Santa's cleared for COVID. Meanwhile,
no wonder Dad's wearing a Santa outfit. Anyway, so
Santa's full on gay in Norway.
So get back to the clip. So where are we?
Yeah, we're at number 2.
Okay, go.
Absolutely. Jamie, good evening to you. Those last-minute cancellations are adding disappointment on top of concerns over surging COVID cases. Most of those cancellations are coming from Delta as well as United, which scrapped 10% of its flights. And the frustrations don't end today. Hundreds more flights have already been canceled tomorrow. For many travelers, it's the nightmare before Christmas.
It's terrible. I want to cry.
United and Delta putting the blame on Omicron infections, grounding flight crews and operations staff.
They're telling us it's at least 3 days to get any of us anywhere near LA or Hawaii to go where we need to go.
Earlier this week, Delta warned of possible staffing shortages as the company requested shortened isolation times for vaccinated workers who test positive. Late Thursday, as some hospitals encounter staffing issues, the CDC shortened the recommended isolation time for infected healthcare workers from 10 days to 7, as long as they don't show symptoms and test negative.
What's the concern that medical systems will be compromised if healthcare workers themselves are getting infected?
How do we manage that on top of an already depleted healthcare workforce?
In hard-hit New York, the governor announced new standards today. Fully vaccinated, asymptomatic essential workers can return 5 days after testing positive instead of 10.
Yep.
And that was my, they're just making it up now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking back before I play this second.
Well, I have a question about that too.
Going back to the NFL, this is a major issue. These sports guys run the country, and there's the elites. All these elite people have teams. I mean, Steve Ballmer owns a basketball team, and there's just one. All these guys are connected one way or another to these teams. Except Bill Gates, he hates sports. Actually, likes basketball. But if they can. They've got to do something because of gambling interests. I've talked about this before because these gambling guys can get somebody a test. The guy can't play in the game. It changes the odds. Now somebody can make out on the deal. And the leagues just this year have all embraced gambling, which is something they never did in the past. This is something you might not know about.
No, I wouldn't know.
And all the leagues, and now they have their own official gambling. So you could go gamble here, or go to. And so the leagues are like, as they embrace gambling, because they're always freaked out about doing that because they figured the games would get rigged, and they always know that was going to happen anyway. And now this is going on, is making them look stupid. So they have to. So that it's possible that the idea that the asymptomatic transmission may be destroyed by these sports teams. And their doctors pushing it because they need to push it because they got to get these people back on the field.
Yep, it's a real problem.
A bunch of games, and they got the big games coming up this next Friday, which are the playoff games for the college. The Big Four: the Michigan, Alabama, Georgia, and Cincinnati are going to play these for the national championship. And they've already said if one of the teams forfeits, this whole thing goes awry. And this is one of the biggest moments in gambling. This is a situation that we're sitting on. It'll be interesting to see how they handle it.
Yeah, ABC is the one that wrote this or published this article about the NFL chief medical officer saying, "Hey, we have asymptomatic, no spread, so this is we should go. We should keep moving forward." Yeah, it's a real problem.
Get out there and get your concussions.
Yeah, well, there's that.
New York reported nearly 45,000 new cases today, a 14% jump from the day before, breaking records for the 7th time in just over a week. Yeah. In Los Angeles, the number of daily cases has tripled in just 3 days to nearly 10,000. It's not just Omicron's impact, but the cumulative toll on healthcare workers.
There's so much mental and physical exhaustion. The concept of it is crazy. Seriously.
This Nebraska nurse posted on social media about dealing with so much death for nearly 2 years in a very uncertain future.
With Christmas and New Year's coming up, that's a big fear of ours. We're trying to clear out beds as much as we can, but there are quite literally no beds in this hospital. It's just as easy as getting vaccinated, being wise about who you're around. At this point, I'm just asking for your help.
No. Did she have guilt?
The CBS is the absolute best at finding these people or getting the person in the bed, on this deathbed. I wish I had gotten the vaccine.
Uh-huh.
And that was some nurse they found online. I don't even know if it's a nurse. It's hard to say.
And we'll do the kicker. We'll do the kicker.
The kicker. Here we go. This is the last clip in the series.
And Nancy, the World Health Organization, also said today Santa is immune from COVID, so we do have some good news there ahead of Christmas. Nancy Chen, thank you.
Yeah, that kind of ruins the other report.
It takes the other reports and throws them in the trash.
Throws them under the bus.
The bus.
It's good to see that Tuskegee University has mandated the vaccine. Way to go, history buffs. That's cool. I love that. Here's one I don't understand. We have this horrible Omicron variant, like a tidal wave. It's worse than measles. It's flowing through the whole country. We're at 3 million a day. It's exponential, doubling every 3 days. So why did the Biden administration lift all travel restrictions on the 8 South African countries? What? Why? And have we also lifted the travel restriction that says non-U.S. citizens and non-immigrants have to be fully vaccinated in addition to a test? Or have we not changed that? Is it just for South Africans now?
No, I think I know what the rationale was.
Okay.
From the Biden, I think Psaki may have expressed this. It goes like this. For one thing, it's an embarrassment they had to do in the first place because all of these people condemned Trump for doing something similar.
Yeah. They're racist. That's why.
And so, and there was that element, the racist element was obviously at play. The idea was, no, the travel ban was only in place temporarily because we wanted to stop the COVID from getting over here, at least exacerbating the problem. And once it got established here, then there was nothing. Well, now it's already here, but we had a head start. It was a good thing that we did the travel ban because it would have been worse if we hadn't. But now, since we were Omicron is all over the place here in the United States, it doesn't matter. We can put them back. We can have the travel continue.
Okay. Well, I guess
that's kind of the rationale.
Yeah, I see her quote. The ban was never intended to be permanent. Lifting it is certainly our intention. Okay, got it. All right, so there's been psychological operations all over the mainstream media. We've already talked about a couple of them, but I think there's one that shows where we're going. And this was spread out. It was a massive spend to get this. Now, some will call it advertising. I'll call it psychological operation. Every year, at the end of the year, Google comes out with their most searched terms. And this year again, they put together a snazzy video, which tugs at your heartstrings, beautiful videos. Apple started this whole trend of the feel-good advertising thing. So it's I'm not going to play it because you really have to see it in context with all of the images. But it's not even necessarily, they're a little fuzzy about it. Not the most searched terms, because we all know that is Free Britney. But it's like, I want to heal. And, these types of very inspirational things, which could signal I think, a push towards making people feel that way. So, and Eric Schmidt is still an evil dick, and he still pulls some strings. So this, to me, which was rolled out amongst 5 late-night talk shows in exactly the same manner with slight differences, it's a native ad. Colbert actually admitted that it was a native ad. Let's see, who else is in here? It's James Corden, Jimmy Kimmel, Trevor Noah. They all got the same buy from Google with slight variations, but I think that this is...
Wait a minute, stop. I haven't seen this.
Mm-hmm. It's a super cut. It's a super...
ads? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's a native ad, so they just... You'll hear it.
Oh, so they would... okay.
Here's the pitch. So the buy is made. Okay, you're going to do a native ad, and here's how it goes. You're going to say, well, Google has done their end-of-year search thing, and here's the thing most searched about our show. But what really is the message here from Google? So this is a super cut of all of these guys.
Folks, tonight's More Show is brought to you by Google's Year in Search, their annual short film that I'm about to show you, and which explores the past year's biggest Google search trends.
Now, he's honest about it. As far as I know, the only late-night show who admitted that it was a buy.
Now, 2021 is winding down and everyone's reflecting on the past 12 months. For the 10th year in a row, our friends at Google have put together their Year in Search, looking at the trending Google searches. This year's theme is healing, because the top trending searches were things like how to take care of your mental health, how to stay strong, and how to help our planet.
We'll show you that film in a minute, but since Google was already digging through their data to make the video, we asked them to look up a few things for us.
The first thing I want to start with is that Google also sent us the year's trending searches about me.
So you see what they're doing now? So they made the buy across the board.
It's a cute buy, but having everybody do it and then having it exposed like this, which is obviously out there, is bad form. But so it's and having Colbert blow the lid off of its bad form.
He can't stand himself. That's why he can't.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him.
He can't stand himself. But let's see if we can figure out what the message is. And I don't for a second believe the top search of 2021 is how do I heal? Do you?
No. Why would you do that? You would search COVID symptoms or
Fauci evil.
How do I heal is not something anybody but some Googler that's like a low end Googler would maybe put in, and it would be a woman, and it would, no offense to the ladies out there, but it would be something that kind of a spinner, a Hummer, one of these types, a goofball would type in. How do I heal? Is bullcrap. Nobody puts that in.
And some of the trending searches about our show included Prince Harry, carpool karaoke, and is James Corden's show scripted?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, how tall is Trevor Noah? Well, I'll tell you, my doctor says I'm 5'11", but 6'2" is my goal height. I'm hoping to hit it next year. They also searched, what accent does Trevor Noah have? Well, obviously, I'm Australian. But ever since I got hit in the head, I've started talking like this.
Can you imagine having to do this for Google on your talk show? How dirty you must feel?
Google even sent over some trending searches about yours truly. In 2021, some of the most frequent searches about me were, and they tell me this is true, how old is Stephen Colbert? I'm 57. How tall is Stephen Colbert? I'm 5'11". And how send photos to Stephen Colbert's show? Oh, it easy send photos to show.
So he actually made a little bit of work out of it, but I don't believe that for a second.
But we also asked Google to look up some of the top trending questions about me this year, and these are real. One of them was, why did Sofia Vergara slap Jimmy Kimmel? Not only do I not know why. I have no recollection of that happening. Did I get slapped by Sofia Vergara this year?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe she hit me so hard I got amnesia. I don't know.
And in 2021, you also Googled how many times has BTS been on the James Corden show. The answer is 9. Yeah, including a phenomenal appearance right here tomorrow night on this show. BTS are going to be out in the crosswalk, and you are going to absolutely love it. I promise you.
All right,
that.
back to the messaging, please.
But what I really learned from the year in search is that 2021 was a year of healing. And everyone had a lot to heal from. There was the coronavirus itself, the trauma of the past 2 years. Personally, I had to heal from all the muscles I pulled from hugging people again.
But this year, one big trend emerged in the Googlescape. People want to heal.
Now, this is real information about what humanity was searching for this year.
And the reason we were able to start living our lives again was thanks to the vaccine. Because vaccines in America are readily available now.
Some of the trending searches from 2021 included, when can I get the vaccine? How to stay strong? And what is my purpose?
Yes, we were still dealing with the pandemic, but as the world reopened, we had to take on other challenges as well. And that included taking care of our mental health. This year, it felt that the conversation about mental health has been destigmatized.
Well, turns out the theme of 2021's Google Year in Search is healing.
Another step people took toward healing this year was searching for a better work-life balance. Because 2021 made people reconsider work. This was just one of the ways people tried to come back stronger. We strived to be more resilient and to get our voices back.
Resilient. This is another word we have to be on the lookout for.
Which for some was a metaphor, but maybe for some people it was literal. And people weren't just interested in healing their own lives this year. They wanted to heal the nation and the world, whether it was Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ rights, fighting anti-Semitism, or stopping violence against Asian people. We also spent 2021 trying to heal the planet too, because climate change is one thing that definitely didn't quit its job after COVID.
We know that climate change is like the bottom of the ladder. There's no one searching for climate change. It's like no one cares. Look at all the polls.
Did you hear the little ditty in there where it says climate change comes after COVID?
Ooh, nice. No, I didn't hear that.
It was literal. And people weren't just interested in healing their own lives this year. They wanted to heal the nation and the world, whether it was Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ rights, fighting anti-Semitism, or stopping violence against Asian people. We also spent 2021 trying to heal the planet too, because climate change is one thing that definitely didn't quit its job after COVID.
Good catch.
And while we're opening back up, bringing more amazing guests back to the studio and getting closer together this year, people all over the world were using Google to do the same. You were looking for ways to take care of your mental health and reconnect and re-engage with the world and with each other.
Which is literally what you need with mass formation. When you have the 4 required elements and then you're looking to reconnect and you're given something like a mask, a vaccine, or a test, that's the mass formation. Perhaps they're still trying to keep it going. This may be a prolonging.
Take a look at Google's Year in Search.
All right. Then they just go into this whole, well, you can actually hear it. It's 30 seconds.
This year, Jay Ellis is with us. We have music from the record company. And we'll be right back with Ben Affleck. But before that, here is Google's Year in Search for 2021.
Then they just go in and just play it. And it's all about healing, reconnecting, and resilience. And this is important. And I think there's another psychological operation underway. It comes from 4chan, which is meant for the people who read 4chan. And it is regarding former President Trump promoting the vaccines. And I've heard this from several people. Usually it goes like this. Hey, I have a theory. I'm like, okay, yeah, you read it on 4chan. I've been thinking about this for quite a while, and I have a theory I want to share. Yeah, you read it on 4chan. You ready for it? Trump is promoting vaccines because he was always deep state. His entire job was to divide the country, then take the blame for the vaccine when people figure out it's horrible, which, of course, will ultimately allow Hillary Clinton to swoop in. And
there was another.
Well, there's something I want to add to the Hillary Clinton. Do you remember maybe 2 weeks ago she was on one of the morning shows reading her acceptance speech? Had she won the 2016 election?
Yeah. In tears.
Yes. It was a native ad. I didn't realize it until I saw that she is now selling a masterclass on resilience. And when you see this, I'll play a little bit of it. When you see this this commercial, Masterclass is masterclass.com. It's a very big outfit, and they get all kinds of luminaries like, there's Bill Clinton, of course. There's Laura Bush. There's George Bush. There's Condoleezza Rice. There's Madeleine Albright. The whole gang is together. They're all featured in this. So it's a real thing, but she is sitting in it's not quite the same, but it's the Oval Office. She has a Resolute desk, which is different from the Resolute desk. She has the oval kind of ness behind her, which is not exactly the same. She is sitting in a set of the Oval Office talking about this.
I'm going to share with you what I intended to say if I had been elected in 2016. My fellow Americans, today you sent a message to the whole world.
Now she's choking up.
Everybody will be knocked down. The question is, will you get back up?
Oh, yeah.
I want to share my life lessons with the hope that it might help you as you navigate your own life.
All right, so that goes on, and then it's about healing and resilience. I kid you not.
It's pathetic.
There's something
up.
A
couple things about the 4chan. I don't know why people get caught up in this crap. There's no way, there's no evidence, there's no anything that indicates that Trump was ever part of the deep state.
Totally agree. Totally agree with you.
They hated him, and it was so obvious. And especially
it was all an act. No, it was all an act. You see, it was all an act.
He's not that good of an actor.
No.
Let's face that reality to begin with. Even when he did commercials, he wasn't that good. So that was bullcrap, and it's beside the point. Why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense. And Hillary's not swooping back in. She doesn't even. Nobody likes her. She's in the same league as Kamala. And the party doesn't want her back. This is bull crap to the highest order. In other words, people find something else to do.
Yeah. Okay. I'm in agreement with you on 4chan. I thought it was interesting. So many people have popped up with this. Yeah, I'm convinced of it. No, how about, let's just reiterate, how about Trump's ego won't let him admit that the whole thing was a bad idea. I'm not saying he could do any different. I'm not saying he's not infallible. Everybody makes mistakes, but to keep pushing and say, oh no, it's good. And yeah, mandates is something else, but not focus on the mandates is because he knows politically it's a non-starter. You can't be the anti-vax candidate. That's not going to work.
No,
it's not going to work. He can't be that. So he's pushing back, and it's like he wants to be president again.
Well, I don't think he's going to. Personally, I still think Ron DeSantis is the guy to get. He's the guy with experience. He's pushed back. He's not anti-vax, but he's anti-mandates. He's anti-shutdowns. And he ran the state. He's got good numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the sleeper that people should pay attention to. He's running for president. There's no doubt about it. But he needs, I think, the support of the Trumpers.
Yeah, he may get it this way, or maybe it's. I mean, if I was doing a conspiracy theory, I said, no, Trump is doing this to make sure everybody goes to DeSantis. I mean, now that would be a selfless
well, if you could
move.
Put that together, that'd be a good one.
That would be a selfless move right there.
But I don't. He's down there. I mean, he moved to Florida, and he's like, obviously, they're seeing each other every so often, and he can't be in disagreement with and he doesn't like what's going on in New York. I just don't see Trump wanting to do it. After another couple of years, he's going to realize that he's got the life. He doesn't need to go back into that grind. The divisive part was an accident. I mean, they started that. It was the Obama people that made that happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
No, I'm in total agreement with you. I'm in total agreement. It's just
I'm
interesting.
talking to them than less so to you.
Yeah.
But because I don't think I don't know anybody that wants to see Trump run again except some hardcores.
Yeah, I don't want anyone old running again. I hate to be ageist, but no.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I'm old.
I'm looking, 50, 60. That's good. It could be younger
60
too.
60's about right. These
I'm okay
guys
if
seem
you're
to
younger.
peak around 60.
I agree. Yeah. I did not get my shit together until I was well into my 50s. I presume most people is that way.
Yeah, and then you start to lose it.
You lose your shit, and the diapers come out. Yeah, so you got a good 8 years.
Trump's a weird character because his system is different, but he's still too old. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I got a couple leftover clips to get rid of. Let's play Chris. This is the COVID Christmas travel clip. I don't know why. For some reason, it's separate from the other group, but COVID Xmas travel. Oh no, you played that.
No, we
one.
played this. We played this. Yeah.
Okay, then I got COVID in the UK. It's an update.
Daily in Britain continue to soar. UK health authorities say the count on Friday topped 122,000, record for a third consecutive day. The tally for the Omicron variant also reached a new high of more than 23,000. That brings the Omicron total so far to over 114,000. 29 people in England infected with the variant had died by Thursday. The number of hospitalizations has also gradually been rising. The expanding caseload is raising concerns as people continue with their Christmas travel plans. The government is speeding up its rollout of boosters, and some vaccination venues will remain open through the holidays. About 56% of Britain's population aged 12 and older has received a booster shot so far.
Yeah, the bookies are now
56% received the boost already. That's a lot.
The bookies are taking bets now. Will it lock down before January 4th or after?
They're making a mistake.
They're going
to. And here's my last clip. This is the Omicron update from New Tang Dynasty.
Hold on a second. I lost my mouse. Sorry.
It's estimated that Omicron cases have surpassed those of the Delta variant in the U.S. Louisiana's health department estimates that Omicron made up over 80% of the state's new cases last week. But a new analysis shows the new strain may cause more infections, but lower hospitalization rates. Earlier, I spoke with Anthony Santella, who is a doctor of public health and COVID coordinator at the University of New Haven, to learn more about the spread of this variant.
We've been talking about this, what's now new and emerging variant for the last few weeks. So the science is still evolving, but what we know is that it's very transmissible, that it's largely causing mild illness, but there's some caveats and footnotes that we really should dive a little bit deeper in with that, and that it is really putting our holidays at risk and our healthcare and hospital systems really at the brink of what could be collapse, just given the sheer volume of people who need inpatient services.
What advice do you have for Americans as the holidays approach?
Well, err on the side of caution. There's no one size fits all approach to figuring out what's best for you and your family. However, there are some things you can do to kind of reduce the risk, ease the burden that this illness could potentially have, even on a fully vaccinated gathering, which is, reducing the number of people that you're gathering with. That's just sheer volume of people, considering we're largely talking about indoor gatherings here. If it's possible, ask folks to get a rapid test the day of the gathering, not the day before, not 2 days before. These rapid tests are only as good as the moment the test is taken.
Yeah, and when anyone who tests positive, dunk their head in the toilet and flush. They never say what to do. So sick of it. All right, I have two more things here. First of all, this is fantastic. Who needs ivermectin when we got all these great pills coming out?
And now healthcare workers can turn to a second COVID-19 pill. Woo! The FDA authorizing the drug from Merck, shown to reduce the chance of severe illness 30%, but only if other drugs like Pfizer's more effective pill are unavailable.
Sorry?
30% is no good. And by the way, Merck, ironically, are the people that have the ivermectin. They're the ones who pretty much produce it. They won't even have it tested with COVID. They don't want to deal with it because it was, oh my God, we're not going to make any money with this thing.
only if other drugs like Pfizer's more effective pill are unavailable or not medically appropriate.
So how about that? Pfizer trumped them so bad that Merck can only be prescribed if Pfizer is not available. Whoa!
We're overly exhausted, and it's starting to look like last year at this time right now. It's kind of a PTSD situation.
And Omicron is already...
To me, that was a whipsaw. That had nothing to do with anything.
What could happen? If you recall, about a month or so ago, we had a clip about the guy who was one of the recipients of the Nobel Prize for ivermectin, the Japanese guy in Japan, and he has access to one of the universities who's going to turn the resources of the entire university over to a test of ivermectin against COVID, offered the deal to Merck. They said no. You remember that? Merck should now say, let's go ahead with that test. Get the ivermectin in there, test it, prove its effectiveness, and then undermine the whole scene because they got cut out of the deal.
Yeah, there seems to be some kind of mafia agreement here.
They got cut out of the deal. This last thing that you just played, that's screwing Merck.
There's more coming.
Are unavailable or not medically appropriate.
We're overly exhausted, and it's starting to look like last year at this time right now. It's kind of a PTSD situation.
And Omicron is already straining the treatments at the ready now. 2 of the main monoclonal antibody therapies the government bought in bulk don't work as well against Omicron, and the third, which does work, is in short supply.
Yeah, always annoying, the short supply. Why is it happening when you have such great other drugs in abundant supply? We do have...
By the way, that point that you made about the that therapy, what is called?
Monoclonal antibodies.
It doesn't work on Omicron. They should mention that. They did mention it. I guess there's one version that does.
I'm sure there's a version that does. We do have the insert for Paxlovid. This is the Pfizer COVID pill. And a couple of things of note. There is, first of all, you could get renal impairment, which is a kidney failure. If you have any kidney issues, you shouldn't take it. This is my favorite. If you have undetected HIV and you take this pill, you could get HIV. How about that?
What?
If you have undetected HIV, which I presume the wording means if you haven't been tested, but who knows? If you have undetected HIV and you take Paxlovid, you may get HIV. So that's one. And
that doesn't sound good.
And this should never be prescribed to someone who is also taking OxyContin or fentanyl, because you could die, stop breathing, which is kind of what opioids do. So this sounds like a fine drug. I think I'll just mainline some ivermectin if I need it.
Before you go on, my connection's getting a little flaky. I want to read this. This is from Nurse Kelly. Hey, I found it interesting that you all discussed the possibility of the increases in AIDS, and within a few days of hearing that on your podcast, I got a letter from the state of Tennessee. As a nurse, we randomly get health emails, but this was the first I have gotten on the increased rate of HIV.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe random or unrelated, but it felt as odd, and I wondered if they're preparing for us for an increase in AIDS patients. Well, anyway, loved the show and thought I would share. And then she sends a copy of the memo, and it's from the health department of Tennessee going on and on about the importance of testing everybody for HIV, and there's going to be an influx and blah, blah, blah.
Well, the good news is we just got the new AIDS vaccine.
Well, maybe there's some connection there.
Oh, I don't know. It could be. Could be. Crazy. Okay. The one thing missing this year from all of the Christmas festivities and COVID joy has been one thing, and we knew it would be missing because the big box stores did away with the layaway system, which allowed for the Secret Santa payoff of everyone's layaway. Not a story, not a single one. It's done with. It's over.
That's interesting.
However, local news, which is what this always is, the way we've deconstructed it throughout the years, is probably a majority of these local news stories are spiked by Target or Walgreens or Walmart, or Walmart or Target, I think are the two, to do a story about, oh my gosh, it's so great. You want to buy at Walmart because you never know, a Secret Santa might.
Yeah, somebody comes along and pays your bill.
So that's over. This is a problem for the local news stations who really rely on those big, it's a big buy. You have to go out there, do the story on the scene. Everyone knows what's going on, I presume, inside the news organizations. So they have to do something new. And in East Idaho News, they figured it out. How can we still do a feel-good story, but get some sponsors? And it has a kicker.
Merry Christmas. I am Nate Eaton, and we are at McDonald's today in Idaho Falls, and we are about to surprise an employee in there with a pretty cool gift from a Secret Santa. Her name is Glenda. She's an immigrant from El Salvador. She's been working in the United States for years.
Notice the story is not is like, oh yeah, no, let's do an immigrant story, working at McDonald's, sending money back to her family.
She is raising her children on her own. Her husband lives in another country, and she has been doing the best she can to provide for her kids. In fact, she used to run a little papusa. It was called Las Papusas, located in Idaho Falls, but due to the COVID pandemic, it was shut down. And so she did not have a way to make a living. And so she took a job here at McDonald's, and she's doing other jobs to try to provide for her growing family. Now, she's here at McDonald's every day at 5 a.m. She works from 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. She does not have a reliable car. And Secret Santa wants to change that. But before we get to that, we also want to provide some memories for Glenda and her kids from Secret Santa. So here's what we've got.
Okay, before we get to the end of this, who do you think the big sponsor is at the end? We know McDonald's is possibly in on it. Who's the big sponsor at the end for a local news show?
It's got to be a local car dealer.
We got our $100 gift card to the movie theater, so she can go see some movies with her kids. We have $400 in gift cards to local restaurants, so they can go out to dinner. And we learned a few of their favorite restaurants, so we're going to give those from Secret Santa. We have a $1,000 check, and we've got this Subaru Legacy. So Glenda does not have to worry about how she's going.
You nailed it. This is exactly what they're doing. And you get a free Subaru Legacy.
Yeah.
From Pete Subaru.
Yeah, good old Pete.
Yeah.
Good man. Used to be mayor, you know.
I love these guys. It's a Secret Santa. Uh-huh. Yeah, really believable at this point. Yeah, the story says he's giving away $1 million. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. So that's it. That's
pretty pathetic, by the way.
Yes, it's very bad for your health to be watching this. I recommend listening to the No Agenda show once. You could maybe try it twice a week, depending on your symptoms. It's usually related to the amygdala, and none of this is good for you to be ingesting without supervision.
And before you go into our break, I want to say that I went to 2017. I've been going through the old clips because I'm putting together a couple of shows. And I thought we'd play, it's a 46-second clip, these are lost clips.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've heard this forever. This is the Hail to No Agenda, right in line with what you're talking about. The Trump Hail to No Agenda, which I've forgotten all about.
Look, we are fully and totally committed to no agenda in the morning. From the inner cities to the rural outposts, from the Sun Belt to the Rust Belt, from east to west and north to south, every American from every background is entitled to no agenda in the morning. We pledge our allegiance to no agenda. We support the incredible men of no agenda. Right? Can I say that? Most people think I'm crazy, and I think they're right. No agenda in the morning.
And And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say in the morning to you, the man who put the C in the COVID travel. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. John C. Dvorak.
Hey, in the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. In the morning, our ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and knights out there.
In the morning to the trolls in the troll room. I wonder how many are here on our Boxing Day. Let's get right to the count here for a second. All right, let's see who we have. Wow, not bad. 2126 is better than expected. Very nice. Good to have you here, trolls. You know what's good for your amygdala, that's for sure. If you, too, want a nice-sized amygdala, then you can always get a quick hit by going into the troll room, trollroom.io. You get to listen to the No Agenda Show live on Thursdays and Sundays. But there's Darren O'Neill before that. There's shows that come after. I think we got Fletcher coming up with Hog Story Live. Call in today. And it's all good fun. It's all free and at your own risk. So give it a shot at trollroom.io or No Agenda. I'm sorry?
Safe and effective.
It's very safe. And there's a whole documentary about safe and effective.
Is it a safe and effective documentary?
Yeah, well, it's the lie of safe and effective, the legal lie, and where it started, and it's worth looking at as this continues.
One of our producers sent me a note saying, "You've noticed he's not saying safe anymore, Biden. He's saying free."
Free? Oh, it's free. It's not free. It's free. Who cares? Hey, there's lots of bad stuff for you that's free.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah. Then we also have our social network, which is noagendasocial.com. And I have to stress that there's a difference between following someone on Mastodon, and I know it's complicated, but people don't listen well.
No.
When you follow someone on Mastodon through the Fediverse, it looks suspiciously like an email address because you're going to follow the person, Adam, at noagendasocial.com. So I know for a fact that our first donor today, which we'll get to in just a moment, probably thought he was going to send me a direct message on No Agenda Social and tried emailing Adam at noagendasocial.com, which just doesn't work. I guess I could make it work, but holy crap, people, listen. This is for following. And go get a Mastodon account. Check it out. Experiment. Don't worry about it. Use a pseudonym. Use a throwaway email address. Get into it. It's the future. It's the only way that you'll be able to communicate with people moving forward is decentralized. It's all going to shut down and go away. And the longer you pussyfoot around on Facebook, seeing if you can outsmart the algos, the more pathetic it becomes. So that's noagendasocial.com. Then we need to thank Tontanil, who had one of the most outstanding pieces of Christmas art, which was so subtle I didn't even see it to start with. This is the Christmas tree ornament, beautiful ball, with just well done. Santa masked with a syringe, a vaccine syringe in his hand, oversized one, with no agenda in there. And it had the whole look of it being just like one of those Christmas tree ornaments where it's sprayed on top of the glass ball. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was quite pretty, I have to say.
And there were possibly a few other things that we were looking at.
Yeah, actually, there was a couple. We got into some debate about a few.
Okay. Oh, the candles?
Yeah, the candles is what your first pick was.
Cesium 137, yeah.
And I was against the candles. I liked the candles, but I didn't think it was Christmassy enough.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, artists today should note, make it Christmassy. It's Christmas weekend. And we'll pick one of them that's Christmassy. We're not going to... The candles look like it was a vote of candles. It was nice, and I think it has uses at some other time. But it wasn't enough of a Christmassy look for my taste. I was actually going for the one I like, which you hated.
Hate is such a strong word.
Is the modern day nativity scene by
by
IRL Glitch
in real life Glitch. Yes. It was
I liked it. It was a nativity scene, which was Christmassy.
Mm-hmm.
But Jesus, the baby Jesus, and Mary and Joseph and some onlookers all had masks on.
Yes,
and I have been making these. I've been using doing mugs for the house using Edward Hopper. This is a little side business of my own, just for myself. I've been taking Edward Hopper
do you make your family pay you for these?
Yeah, I do, always, obviously. I take Edward Hopper paintings, which are just he's one of my favorite artists, and I mask with the little blue mask the people in the painting, and then put it on a mug. It's quite funny. So I felt simpatico with IRL in real life glitch when I saw this piece, because it was something I would do.
Okay, I did not hate it. You're just lying. Go sit over there with CNN, CBS. I said, it's Christmas. This is the one time I don't want to fuck with people who really believe in this story. That's all I said. I just felt it was inappropriate, and maybe that was, I don't know. I just felt like, let the people who really want the nativity scene in the manger and this whole story, let them have it. I don't know. It felt
if
wrong.
You don't give it to them.
It felt wrong. Just didn't feel good. It's just me. But I didn't hate it.
Well, you sound like you hated it. But anyway, so we had this debate. He wanted the votive candles, which was just which was a nice piece, but it wasn't Christmas enough for my taste. It didn't have any green and red. And so we picked the bulb.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything else under consideration per se.
Well, there was I did pick for the newsletter. I think it was, I don't know if it was Tanta Neal or, no, it's Kenny Benz. A Santa. You did like this piece. This was Santa with the needle on the Santa and the reindeer flying around, and Santa had a needle and he was like jabbing the reindeer with it.
I liked it because it looked like it was a javelin throwing the needle. I did like that piece. Yeah, that was good.
So I used it for the newsletter. I liked it too, but it wasn't as good as the Christmas bulb was dynamite.
Well, thank you very much to Tanta Neal for bringing us this artwork. It was beautiful. We love to be as traditional as possible on some of these big holidays. So a good Christmas ornament. Nailed it. Well done. Of course, if you're using a modern podcasting app, you can see all of these images we just discussed and more as part of the cloud chapters that Dred Scott does for us. And there's actually exciting news in Podcasting 2.0. If I can do a quick plug for Abel Kirby. Abel Kirby has done a lot of our jingles. Let's see. He's done at least 30 different jingles. He's the one that does great singing. Really good stuff. He has teamed up with Sir Spencer, another knight of ours, and they're releasing the very first Value for Value Podcasting 2.0 full album. So they've put up a separate feed that is just for this album. Each, what we would call an episode, is now a track. The band is called Abel and the Wolf, and the album is titled Stay a While. It is full on Podcasting 2.0 with all of the extra tricks, including streaming value for value payments. So I would take a look at that, but you need a new podcast app where you can go to abelandthewolf.com. I've always thought that music would be perfect to distribute through podcasting mechanisms. We'll see how it catches on.
I like it.
Yeah, it's a good album, too. It's very diverse. It goes from like country to kind of a little grungy here and there. It's good. It's very interesting. All right, now let's thank our supporters for episode 1411. And we kick it right off with Kevin Fisher. I told you this is what happened. Now, Kevin is from Oviedo, Florida. Oviedo. And he sent a fabulous donation, 1,411.
Club.
Is that a club donation? Yes, it's a 1411 episode number club donation. We haven't had one of those in a long time. And he says, I sent a note to both of you on No Agenda Social. I may have babbled a bit, but I'm crazy excited and blessed to be afforded this opportunity at my age. Merry Christmas to you all. Kevin Fisher. And I really wish I had his note, but I did not see a direct message. I didn't see a public message. Did you see anything? Because he sent it to both of us.
No, I didn't see anything.
So I'm afraid he might have done the email thing.
No, I think he sent it to No Agenda Social.
Well,
I'll look for it during this thing.
I looked for it. Anyway, Kevin, thank you very much. You do get your executive producer credit. You get the episode club number as the only one and for a long time. And we'd love to know if there was more that, especially your age. I mean, how old are you, Kevin?
Yeah, that's what I like. I wonder, is he 20?
How old? Maybe he's 80. I don't know. It could be.
Maybe
could go
he's
either
80,
way.
maybe he's 17.
Could go either way. So thank you very much. We really appreciate that. And Merry Christmas.
Scott Bagwell's up next with one of the greatest donation numbers. I just love this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That is a beauty.
He's in Louisville, Kentucky. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone at the best podcast in the universe. Thanks for all you do. All I'm asking for this year is the original Jobs Karma Pelosi solo version. Cordially, Scott Bagwell.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You've got karma.
That's the original.
That is the OG. Doug Salmon checks in with $1,000. Now, we didn't. You didn't go to the post office, right? So there's maybe checks missing and stuff that we don't have.
There's checks. Yeah, the checks will be on the Thursday show, but this. He may have sent a note, and I doubt it. Most people send a note in by email. Very rarely does somebody send a PayPal donation, then mail in a note. I think that's happened once in the last 5 years.
Yeah, that just popped into my head.
It was worth mentioning, but I tried to find something from him, and Eric did put the email address, his email address. I searched for it, nothing. So there.
Well, thank you very much, Doug, and let us know if this gets you to a certain status or if there's something else you wanted to say. We'll gladly make good on that. I can go straight through to Anonymous with $580.01, who just says, Merry Christmas, gents. Anonymous.
Well, that's weird, because another Anonymous comes along from Owasso, Oklahoma, 2 in a row, which is very strange, but he's at $350. And this Anonymous, the other one, says, thank you, Adam and John, for all you do. No jingles or karma, but what a great note. No jingles or karma, but one question. What's being said between we go out, we hit people in the mouth, and shut up, slave? My ear can't decipher it, and it drives me nuts. Thanks.
Do you know?
We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
And then after that?
And then I think is the pigs thing, isn't it, or something? Oh, New World Order?
New World Order, yeah. I can imagine where that might be tough to hear.
I don't know. It sounds clear to me, but New World Order. Shut up, slave.
Yep, exactly.
David Orell is next with 333.33. Because I only turned 33 once, yet another one of these birthdays. This feels great. Thank you both for the best podcast in the world. Shout out to my beautiful girlfriend who listens to the show with me. If possible, please play Ants during the end of the show mix.
It says David Orell, yes. Well, we have a whole thing planned already, so we'll play a bit for you now.
I got Ants. I got ants. I don't know if we had ants. We had ant invasion. I was thinking if you desiccate.
It is one of our favorites, the ants. Hey, did you hear that I recorded you with your recorder, your latest solo?
What did I sing?
No. You played. Don't you remember you were playing the recorder last week?
Vaguely. It wasn't a recorder. This little.
No. It was the recorder, and we do all kinds of stuff before the show starts. People who listen to the live stream, they're the ones that are able to hear it. But I thought it would be fun because I did record you doing this little Ave Maria, which I thought was beautiful. John C. Dvorak on record, everyone. I think it's like I think I'm kudos. It's getting there.
Yeah, well, the great thing about is that, as Miles Davis once said, the hardest thing to do as a musician, as a trumpet player in his case, is sound like yourself.
Well, you succeeded.
And I've achieved it.
Yes. Very good.
Okay. Mike Shinney in Katy, Texas. Please make my smoking hot wife, Becky, an executive producer. Please de-douche her for Christmas.
You've been de-douched.
And he'll remain the douche. So she's a switcheroo. And I noticed there's a lot of switcheroos today. And I even mentioned it to Eric. It's like, I mean, for some reason, the Christmas giving season, people are giving up their names for switcheroos.
I like this a lot. I like that people are doing that. I think it's totally appropriate, and I prefer it over people asking to do us things that are outside of the donation segment, like say, oh, well, this has to be end of show song. I mean, these things are planned. You know, we plan some parts of the show, so it's kind of disruptive to do that, and I want to make everybody happy.
Yeah, it's too hard to ad-lib. Yeah. We ad-lib most things.
But the switcheroos, I'm great with. That's fantastic. I love it. It's a great gift. It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Here they come.
So we will make it so. And he says, for the moment, I must remain a douche. That's okay. Becky Chinny will receive the executive producership, as will Dreb Scott, Duke of the Southern.
Oh, wait. You didn't give her de-douching.
I did. I just did for Christmas.
Obviously, I'm oblivious to it now.
Dreb Scott, Duke of the Southern California mega region, gives us 333.25. That would be a Christmas donation, executive producership. And he says, no jingles, no karma. Merry Christmas from Dreb Scott, Duke of the Southern California mega region, and responsible for chapter art for this show. And he does a great job at it. And you should follow him on No Agenda Social. He updates the minute the chapter art is ready. People seem to like that. I might as well
Nicole McCarter come.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
I was just going to grab the next one. Go ahead, it's fine. We're rocking it.
Nicole McCarter. What an interesting name, McCarter. 333.25. Now, both Drab and her, this is the official special No Agenda producer donation, .25. Merry Christmas is the best podcast hosts on the planet.
Oy.
That is the best note of the day. She wins. You win.
Thank you very much, Nicole McCarter on Z100. Sir Zance, a.k.a. Rolando Gonzalez, end of show mixer extraordinaire, along with Dame Sarah, Maya, and Alice, 333.25. Of course, they check in with the appropriate number for the Christmas donation. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to our favorite guardians of reality and all in Gitmo Nation. The No Agenda sanity has made all the difference. Much love from the Gonzalez crew in Houston, a.k.a. Sir Zance, and Dame Sarah, Maya, and Alice. A lovely family. Met them at the Bastrop meetup. And Rolando, and Rolando kicks ass on he's done about 70 mixes for us so far. It's unbelievable. The amount of treasure and time and talent some people put in.
Chuck Jennings is next on the list. Sir Charles the Red in Queen Creek, Arizona, 333.25. This is a gift EP for my keeper, Charity Jennings. So this is another switcheroo.
Well, now, this is for it is. Yeah, you're right. It is a gift EP. What am I saying? It's totally right. Nailed it.
I just read it.
Yeah, no, I thought it was just. I thought it was just.
You're falling apart.
I am.
This will put her over the. Oh, wow. This will put her over the.
Shut up. Groovy.
You know, the funny thing is, I was going through those old clips. I didn't put it. I'll bring it up for the next show. There's an "oh wow" right on thing that we did because apparently I just said it. We've been saying that forever.
Oh wow, yeah. And, you know, we're just repeating ourselves now. It's time to stop. There should be a term limit for podcasters.
I think they'd string us up if we stopped at this point. They will put her over the top for her damehood. She's the damehood. Okay. Documentation forthcoming. We got you on this. Regards, Chuck, Sir Charles the Red, ITM, and Merry Christmas, Adam. Wait, is this all part of the same note? No, it is a note from Charity. She wrote in. ITM and Merry Christmas. Thank you for your courage. This donation brings me to damehood, and I would like to be pronounced Dame Charity the wise wizard.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a listener and supporter from the start of the show, and your media deconstruction brings so much value. Your show sparks deep conversation with my husband of 21 years, and our kids sing out the jingles proudly. Can I get an I like bugs? That's true. And a goat karma. Please include bratwurst and Hefeweizen at the table today.
Hefeweizen, yes. Hefeweizen is the nice Witbier.
Witbier,
we like it very much.
Oh, and it's cloudy.
Hey, I found something for the That's True. You might like it. I'll do a little extra bonus for you, Charity. First, we get the classic. Everybody loves the bugs. 2 requests today in the execs.
I got ants. I got ants.
You're the president and you're sitting across from me right now.
That's true. I produce more than I promised. True.
It's true. That's true.
It's true. It's true. It's true. That's such a truth, sir.
That's true. You've got karma.
Know what else I found?
Well, I don't normally correct you.
What did I do wrong?
But I got ants is not I like bugs.
Oh, that is so wrong. Because I love bugs.
Tastes like poop.
Yeah. Well, we'll just do it again.
I love bugs.
My mistake.
Bugs. Tastes like poop.
That's true. You've got karma.
Apologies, that was operator error.
You know what it was? It was an operator error. It's got the back tune is the exact same music. Dun, 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 I got ants. Dun, 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 dun.
Is it?
It's the same song. Whoever put I Like Bugs together also put the ants tune together.
Let me just see this for a second. I don't think you're right. That doesn't sound right. Let's see, JCD ants. 1 second. Okay. So this is the...
I love bugs!
Is it? This has the intro.
I got ants.
Yep. Yeah, you're right. It's the same. No wonder I'm confused.
You got confused.
Good catch. After 8 years, we finally learned something.
This is the first time we've
realized
it.
We've realized it.
Oh, that's interesting. You take it.
Aztunan is from parts unknown in the U.S., 333, and just says no note except keep it up. Thank you. Which takes us to James Shaw from Prairieville, Louisiana, 333 in the morning, fellas, pulling the old switcheroo for my bride of 12 years, Erin Shaw. Okay, let's make that switcheroo permanent right now with double N, no less. She punched me in the mouth a few months back, and for that I'm eternally grateful. We are always excited to share and discuss episodes together, especially now we are on a Christmas road trip visiting family. Though we are relatively new listeners, she has arranged to meet up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, January 12, 2022. All right, everybody, Baton Rouge. On top of all this, 12/26 is her birthday, so this year I think I finally found a good gift by donating to our favorite podcast and allow her entrance to the esteemed Executive Producer Club. No jingles, but a little karma would be great for my bride. Thanks, Adam and John. Keep it up, James Shaw, and we say thank you very much for your courage.
You've got karma.
So now we have Joshua Blakeman and Telluride at 333 and Caitlin Green from Parts Unknown at 333. And neither one of them, there's not a note. I got their email addresses. I can't find a note from either one, so we'll skip ahead. And we'll ask if you have anything to send in. We'll read it at some future date. To Associate Executive Producer Rochelle Stowe in Seattle, 28008. Rochelle, which is a great name. In the morning, and Merry Christmas is their switcheroo, another switcheroo. So this is a switcheroo and a knighting for Jacob Jake. He has donated the best podcast in the universe for the last decade, and today marks the celebration of his knighthood as Sir Jake the Snake of Bitter Lake.
Woohoo!
Mm-hmm. Merry Christmas to the man who deconstructs the media with me at our kitchen bar on our road trips to Tacoma. That's amazing. They must have a big RV with a kitchen bar in it. and on our bike rides around the Washington state. He told me this year, just donate to No Agenda for my present. Wow.
Nice.
Well, here's 2 pairs of boobs from your boobs. Sorry.
Boobs.
I thought it was boobs. BEWS.
Oh, two boobs.
BWBS. Boobs.
28008. Yeah, 2 boobs. Nice.
Two boobs from your smoking hot wife, 28008. Jake would love some Guatemalan espresso and Black Forest bacon at the round table.
Got it.
Now, I think, she's up in Washington State, so she's probably talking about the Hemplers.
The Hempler?
Black Forest bacon, which is sold up there. Yeah, it's one of the best bacons in the country.
Mm.
John and Adam, we'd love to meet you someday, and we appreciate what you're doing. Thanks for making us laugh together in this crazy world. Keep up the jingles, producers. Jingles, Boom Shakalaka Girl, and Jobs Karma. Love you guys, Rochelle.
All right.
Boom shakalaka. Boom shakalaka. Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
You've got karma.
Ivan Santana. Might be related. Montgomery VLG in Maryland.
Village.
Oh, Montgomery Village in Maryland. Never heard of that. Is that near Kensington, possibly? 266.66. Mm-hmm. Oh, this 133.33 times 2 donation is a Christmas gift for my fairy godparents, Tony and Meta. They are a godsend to wayward, undisciplined rebel boys like I was. They've always been by my side, never wavering in their love and affection for me. This little gift is from my keeper, Maria Estella, and me, Ivan Savino, to them. So, is this a switcheroo officially?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's a gift. Well, maybe it is because it's a Christmas
gift.
Well, then let's just put Tony and Meta and Maria as the switcheroo.
Okay, so Ivan, no. Well, Ivan is giving, and Maria.
To them.
Yes.
Tony and Meta and Maria Estella.
No, it's from Maria.
This little gift is from my keeper, Maria Estella, and me. Okay, you're right. It's from the 2 of them.
Yeah, so we'll just say Tony
and Meta.
Tony and Meta. Okay. Phew. A lot of admin today. I noticed that there was no testing or proof of vaccination required for a mothership pass, so I got myself one. That should keep me douchebaggery free for a while. I was introduced to the show by my best friend, Adam GM. There was no need to hit me in the mouth, for I was pleasantly surprised to hear the familiar voice of my favorite MTV VJ from my partying teenage days in the 1980s Dominican Republic. The superb media assassination the 2 of you provide, along with John's cooking and wine tips, has made me a loyal listener. Please, please, please add us to the wine list. Kindly de-douche us. Okay, we can do that.
You've been de-douched.
No jingles needed, just a lot of Christmas karma. You, Adam Curry, and John C. Dvorak, and all the No Agenda Nation have a wonderful 2022 new year. You got it. Thank you very much. Christmas karma here.
You've got karma.
Max Myers in Henrico, Virginia. 250. I had my dad, Don Myers, in the mouth, and he's been a douchebag for quite a while now. Douchebag. This is a gift to be credited to Don Myers. Yet another switcheroo. That actually makes 3 in a row.
It's a record.
This is we had a bunch of other ones too, but these are actually in a row. This is a gift to be credited to Don Myers to de-douche him.
You've been de-douched.
Only with the family shame cleared can I later claim my own 5+ year 33.33 layaway knighthood. And that's coming, I guess. Okay.
All right. Thank you very much. And it's been credited to Don. Jennifer Gardner, Wasilla, Alaska, 250, Associate Executive Producership. Merry Christmas to my hard-working husband, Jamie, a regular listener and supporter of your show, doing his part on the farm to ensure food security for us and the community. Love you lots. Keep doing what you do. Love, Jennifer. Oh, I love that.
I have to, I left it downstairs, but I'll do it on the next show. Somebody has been sending us various things. And one of our producers sent me a big jug of Vermont maple syrup and a couple of mugs.
Oh, I have the Vermont maple syrup. I didn't get the mugs.
Well, who was it? Well, if you thank them, I can.
Oh, this is a while ago. No, I got this.
Oh, no, this just came.
Okay.
We've had maple syrup from the other people.
I've not seen this then.
For a very good reason, the people in Vermont feel obliged to give away their maple syrup, which is some of the best in the world.
Damn good. That's why.
Ezekiel Chopper is next up at $250 from Westminster, Colorado, or Westminster. Switcheroo donation for my wonderful mother, Katie Chopper.
Okay. All right.
I said there was a lot today.
It's crazy.
That's number 21. I'm writing these down, too, for double checking. She is turning 63 on the 29th. Please add her to the birthday list. She's on it. I couldn't have asked for a better mother. She raised me suspicious of the media and politics. Good for her.
Nice.
So, of course, I shared the show with her after I discovered it, and it's given us much to talk about, especially in these troubled times. John's Echo Machine appreciated. For what?
Just do it.
Troubled times. For jingles, she has a favorite.
By the way, Echo Machine, big oversimplification.
That's an overstatement.
Maybe.
For jingle, she has a favorite, but I can't remember the name of it. It's new within the last year. An Australian producer, not Sir Chris, recorded his child saying something cute. I'm a bad son, despite going back to the archives with the help of noagenda.net using chapters and transcripts. I could not find it between the moment I asked her what her jingles are and sending in this note. Can she also get an In the Morning Christmas morning played? Yes, I know it's never easy with her. If not, two kids saying cute things would be appreciated. We're good Christians and won't have any of your pagan karma. There's more than a few people that refuse the pagan karma.
Sure.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
I can understand that.
Not even that hallelujah chorus karma, because it's a millennium song and not appropriate for Christ's birth or death. Thank you for your courage, Ezekiel and Katie.
So I don't know about this In the Morning, Christmas morning. Does this ring a bell with you?
No, it doesn't ring a bell to me.
Now I looked for Australian producer, not Sir Chris, who recorded his child saying something cute. This was the most recent one from an Australian producer with his child, and here's what the child said. Freedom. That might qualify as cute. I don't know.
I think that was it.
Kind of. Well, there's nothing else.
Well, just play him some cute little kid saying anything.
Let me see.
Said any cute things would be appreciated.
You didn't like this one? I thought it was cool.
Freedom?
Yeah.
No, I thought it was gross.
Okay.
It's not cute.
Okay.
How about Shut Up Slave? That's cute.
Let me see. Shut Up Slave. Yeah, we could do that. And then what else do we have?
Shut up, slave.
There you go. And no karma. All right. Thank you.
Well, we'll make it up to you.
No.
Philip Ballou is next.
We did what we did.
22.
We did what we did.
We did what we did. But, we get cute kids come and go. 240-22.
They turn into dicks. Cute kids.
Never
works out well.
I've decided to give myself a knighthood this holiday for my birthday and Christmas. That's all I really wanted. Counting attached. Total of 1133.33. My douchebag wife and I share the same birthday. Everyone's call her out.
Is it a call out?
I think so. It's a douchebag. All right. They're both at 1229. She has been hit in the mouth for the last few years on the regular, but I can't bring herself to steadfastly listen to any podcast, even the best one in the universe, so she doesn't listen. As she spends most of her time raising and teaching our 3 homeschooled human resources, so that's a plus. May the coming year bless you both with health, podcast wealth, and tiny amygdalas. We got 2 of them. I would like to be titled Sir Phil of the Bluegrass if it's available. Yeah, of course. Please provide patty melts and Pilsner at the round table.
Yep, got it.
Nothing like a patty melt and a
Mhm.
Pilsner.
Mhm.
Jingle request. Biden, get vaccinated with woman no. Sharpton, no conflict. Bullshit. And supply chain karma, if you please.
You got it.
Get vaccinated.
No.
There's no real conflict.
Bullshit.
You've got karma.
I like that little progression.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Let's see. Aaron Patterson, parts unknown. Our other favorite donation, 234.56. Donation note email to john@dvorak.org. Thanks. Did you receive an Aaron Patterson email?
No, I did not. And I looked.
Sir Ever of the What? Same amount, 23456 from Linwood, Michigan. Celebrating the sale of our 2 homes in Cotachi, Ecuador. No jingles, no karma. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Keep reading until I'm going to go look again for Aaron just in case.
Raymond Samori is from Madison, New Jersey, 23456. I've been listening to the pod since Adam's last appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience.
I'm going to stop this immediately and bring in a clip.
Okay.
Since you're such a big fan of
here we go.
Of this, I thought I would play this clip. This is I'm doing it on your behalf with a little sweetening. This is defending usage. I took it from a TV show where they talk about their podcast.
Draymond Green, by the way, and very soon in the next week or so, I got a chance to chat with Quinn Cook for a pod for Dubs Talk. And one thing he said during that pod was,
Shut up!
Thank you. That's a Christmas miracle. You gave me a gift. Shut up with your pod. So disgusting.
What he said on the pod.
On the pod.
That was it's just the first use I did a pod is when what he said on the pod.
Yeah.
That was too much.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we continue with this abomination of terminology. I've been listening to the pod since Adam's last appearance on Joe Rogan Experience. John, I used to read you in PC Magazine and watch Adam on MTV. This is my first donation, so please de-douche me.
You've been de-douched.
The donation is in honor of my son, who is being forced by his college to get boosted even though he suffered myocarditis after the initial jabs.
And he would go back for more? Are you kidding me?
Hope not. So I need health karma for him with a side of goat along with jingles. Get vaccinated. No, 2 to the head. Hold on a second. We have all of those now at the ready. Get vaccinated. No, 2 to the head. Yes. And what the rest of the note is Merry Christmas to you both. Let's go, Brandon. Okay. I would recommend maybe reconsidering that booster thing, man. It's just a thought.
Get vaccinated.
No. You've got karma.
I'll wrap this up and mention that there is no note from Aaron. James, unless you use some other name and different email address and is coded somehow. James Dozier at 222.22, a bunch of twos. We have a name for that. I forgot what.
It's a row of ducks.
Row of ducks. I will say this about that. It is a matter of fact, you know, that No Agenda is the best podcast in the universe, right? I would like to encourage my fellow listeners to check out the Higher Side Chats podcast episode from 12/5/21 with RFK Jr. It's a rundown of the evil that is Dr. Fauci. Can I get a de-douching?
Yeah.
You've been de-douched.
And he wants to wrap it with a double goat karma. May you all have a peaceful and prosperous new year. Resist we much.
You've got karma.
And that is the end of our associate executive producer and executive producers rundown for show 1411. That's nice. I want to thank every one of them for helping us here.
Yes, these credits are real. That means you can use them anywhere credits are recognized or appreciated, which is IMDb. It's LinkedIn. It can be on your resume. These are things that matter in life. People are looking for credentials, not just what school you went to, but what have you done in real life? If you say I was an executive producer of an actual media property that's been around for a long time, I think it may make a difference. If anyone questions your credentials, send them to us. We will gladly vouch for you. And thank you for supporting episode 1411. If you'd like to be an executive producer or associate executive producer, we have a website. All the kids know the jingle. Sing along now.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Thank you for contributing your time, talent, treasure to the No Agenda Pod.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Order. Shut up, slave.
See? Cute. Told you. Cute. Kid is cute. You can't help it. Kid is just cute.
I do have a couple of things get out of the way, which, as I said, I was going through the old 2017 batches.
Yeah, it's always nice.
And I got 2 clips that are worth replaying. And I have one more little Alex Jones thing I want to replay, too. So I got 3 total here. But the first one, let's do the Alex Jones and get it out of the way.
Okay.
AJ.
Yeah, I got it.
For 20 plus years, they've had glow-in-the-dark dogs you can buy that are part jellyfish.
Hey, classic Seed Man. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yes,
a little classic. Now I get these other 2. These are actual clips that we used and played, and I don't know if we actually ran on the show or not. But this is the Good Morning America crowd gushing over a mom, or actually it was a mom and son, both transitioning to dad and daughter.
Oh yeah, this is better than the Wachowski brothers. This
is like so convoluted, and they're just oh, this is so terrific. This is like the kissing Santas. It's kind of a return to this sort of thing. I just found it to be. It's interesting to me, but it's not something you gush over. So let's listen to this.
We're back now with that incredible story of a father and daughter, the 2 of them undergoing the gender reassessment process, I should say, together. And Nightline's Juju Chang, our good friend, is here. And this is such a moving, touching story, Juju.
It is. It's a jaw-dropping story about an amazing family, really. There are 2 generations, a metaphor, really, for the transgender journey. They both say they knew as kids that something was off with their gender, but Corey came out at 15, and then mom watched her daughter brave the bullies. She said then she could no longer deny she, too, was transgender.
They've always had a special mother-son bond, but together they transitioned to father-daughter, learning from each other every step of the way.
Of course, Eric and Corey have both undergone years of counseling and a mental health assessment before starting hormones. Mom, you should know, had a double mastectomy, but it's all in line with the international guidelines for gender reassignment.
To see your child going through something like that, and then to give you the courage to do it yourself.
To be inspired like that together.
Boy, thank you for sharing that with us, Juju. We appreciate it.
International guidelines.
Where are these international guidelines? Is that the World Health Organization? Do they maintain the international guidelines for gender reassessment? I'm sorry, reassignment surgery?
Yeah.
No, she said reassessment too. That's a good one. Kind of frightening.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. So here's another one. This is one that we should bring up more often because this is during the Obama administration, and this happened. This is the classic China and our CIA.
China killed or imprisoned up to 20 CIA sources between 2010 and 2012, the New York Times is reporting. Whether the U.S. intelligence agency was hacked or whether a spy helped to identify the individuals is unclear. At least a dozen people providing information to the CIA were killed by the Chinese, according to the report, dismantling a network that was years in the making. Officials told the paper that one source was shot in front of a government building in China, saying the aim was to send out a warning to others about working with Washington. The CIA has declined to comment on the contents of the article.
Yeah, and we haven't heard anything since then about it, have we? Nothing.
Well, yeah, there was one little story about a year and a half ago, a very short piece about they've got it was a mole.
Right.
CIA mole, and I think he was Chinese, and he escaped. He didn't get caught. He's in China now, and it was just a bad job of recruiting or part of their diversity thing. I have no idea they never gave us much detail, but yeah, they did find the guy.
There's a story that didn't get a lot of attention, mainly because the outcome was evident. We knew it was going to happen. But I was talking about this particular story with a buddy of mine, which I wanted to mention. This is the story of former police officer Kim Potter. And just to review, she wound up killing a man who was not a good guy, had quite a record, and she was driven into a situation where she pulled her weapon thinking she was pulling the taser, which is a cross draw for most police departments. Somehow, though, she didn't cross draw her taser. She drew her service weapon and shot and killed him. And she then went before a jury and was tried for 2 counts of manslaughter. So this is part of the defund the police movement, and it needs to be discussed because it just kind of and she's guilty, and there we go, justice is served. But justice is not served. This is hurting justice. This is a virtue signaling exercise. To me, it's no different than when the Dutch government wanted to try a Dutch Marine in civil court for killing an Iraqi accidentally when they were stationed there. I mean, you cannot mix these two things. And when you have police officers who make mistakes, big mistakes, she's like on the force for 20 years. So this is a training issue, a lot of issues why this happened. But when someone makes a mistake like this in law enforcement, is the solution to put these people on display and charge them for manslaughter with multiple counts? Well, this is exactly what it's doing to the police force. My buddy Mike, 12 years, he left the force for some of these reasons, was considering going back. He came over on Friday, we were hanging out, and he brought this up. He said, this is the reason why I decided I'm not going back. I'm not going back to the police force because this is the problem. And he mentioned 2 things. One, he said, you can't do your job if you have to think continuously about being sued and not being backed up by your superiors, by the city council, by the mayor, etc. Now, of course, there's situations where people do bad things. There's bad cops, but I don't think this was one of those cases. And he said something else which is interesting. He said, I hate to say it, but women have no place on the police force in the street. And I thought that was an interesting comment. I said, well, what are you, some kind of misogynistic dick? He said, no, they get overpowered time and again. He says, every single time I see it, that it's like the same thing with having trans women, I should say, participating in women's sports. He says, you cannot, half of the perps out there, women just aren't physically strong enough. They shouldn't be out there. And then you get driven into a situation where you get really freaked out and then really bad things can happen. But all of this is doing nothing good for your policing. Cops don't want to do it anymore. They're leaving and they won't join up. So I
agree with this. Now, I followed this case closely. I didn't bring it to the show, but I followed it. I saw her testimony. She was obviously distraught by what happened. I didn't see.
I have a clip.
Guilty.
I have a clip from ABC. Want to hear that real quick? It kind of lays it out.
We, the jury, on the charge of manslaughter in the first degree, find the defendant guilty.
Potter showing no emotion as the verdict was read. Her husband calling out to her as she was put in handcuffs.
Love you, Kim.
Potter shot and killed Wright during a struggle after a traffic stop in April, reaching for her gun instead of her taser. The jury saw this body camera video in which you can hear the 26-year veteran officer realize what she had done.
Do you swear?
On the stand, she said it was all a terrible mistake.
I'm sorry it happened. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to hurt anybody.
But For the jury, that was not a reason to acquit.
You can feel sorry for Kim Potter, and you can believe she's guilty as a legal matter of the crimes that were charged. And I think that is likely what we saw here.
Outside court, cheers. Wright's mother describing a rush of feelings.
The moment that we heard guilty on the manslaughter 1, emotions, every single emotion that you could imagine just running through your body at that moment.
So you can hear that there's no way that this could be thrown out, or because there was a crowd outside who all wanted to see blood. You were going to comment on it?
No, I mean, I think that should, from what I could tell, watching they had the case on Court TV, and she could have easily been found not guilty based on a number of issues, and it was a mistake, and you can't make a mistake. I can see why cops would quit.
Right, she's convicted of a crime. It's a crime. What she did is a crime.
I know. It's ridiculous. It wasn't, didn't gun the guy down in cold blood, which is what they should be concerned about. But the bloodthirsty crowd, the lynch mob out front didn't help things. I think she can get off an appeal, and maybe something can come out of this that's not so negative. But yeah, this is exactly what you say. This is a show trial done for the purposes of getting police to quit. We're going to have an unpoliceable, especially with, these in California, we have every mall and the downtown San Francisco and all these areas where there's expensive stores, Louis Vuitton. They're going to get robbed. They're going to be leaving. We're going to have just a bunch of St. Louis's, a bunch of Cleveland, downtown Cleveland, Baltimore. There you go. That's even better. We're going to have Baltimore everywhere because of this. And if that's what people want, they're obviously not thinking clearly. But again, if everybody's in mass formation, they're not thinking clearly anyway. So we're kind of, I don't know what to tell you.
No, they all start thinking clearly when something happens to them. They're like, "Where's the cops?" Well, there you go. What is guaranteed going to happen is middle class and upper middle class neighborhoods will have their own police force, private police. And it's going to be the same guys who we used to pay $45,000 a year to risk what Kim Potter just went through. And you know what? And these guys are going to make $85,000, $100,000. They're going to love it. It's going to be great. It's going to be great for the people who have money. And the exact people that this was all meant to help are going to suffer.
Oh yeah, the lower income, the inner city, they're going to get screwed by this.
Yep. And, of course, we had a similar thing happen.
The bizarre attack inside a Burlington coat factory began when security asked a man to leave the store, according to an employee who asked not to be identified.
And that's when it all escalated from there. He tried to start threatening the security that he was going to start throwing items.
She told our Los Angeles station, KCBS, that she tried to help customers escape.
The suspect was waiting downstairs. I had a customer in front of me. He, as soon as she reached down, he attacked her, hit her with the chain.
We need an RA for a female victim, head trauma.
They also received additional radio calls from multiple people indicating that there was a possible shooting in progress.
Investigators say when officers saw the suspect about to assault another person, they opened fire, killing him.
All units, officer needs help. Be shots fired.
They later found a bullet hole in the wall.
We went behind it. It turned out to be the dressing room.
Inside, 14-year-old Valentina Oriana Peralta was dead from a gunshot wound. She was reportedly trying on quinceañera dresses with her mother.
Mm-hmm. Preliminarily, we believe that round was an officer's round.
No gun was found on the suspect.
And you know what's going to happen with this. You know what's going to happen. The guy is beating people with a chain.
Yeah, they had a couple of women. They had to be taken out by an ambulance. They had a lot of, they're bloody. Yeah, the guy's a maniac, and they had to kill him.
Yeah.
And so one of the stray bullets went through the wall, which is probably paper thin, and hit this poor girl. The thing about this, I know your overall point here, but I think it's kind of backed up by the fact that this story was covered by CGTN.
Okay.
China's news outlet. I was watching CGTN the other night looking for some clips,
mm-hmm.
because their stuff is interestingly skewed. And they're running this local story about this poor girl who got hit by a stray bullet. What has China got to do with this story? This was on their national feed or the international feed.
Mm-hmm.
Making us look bad. Thanks, China.
That's it. That's the whole idea.
Oh yeah, United States of America's they're not like us. We got no no issues. 14 million people to stay inside and shut up, and they'll do it. We don't have these kind of problems.
We're getting there, though. We're getting there. The more people get dependent upon credit scores and privileges, and we've already kind of been taught that. To this day, I still have people from Europe picking up the post of our Booster Mach Frei image from a couple shows ago, the concentration camp, and they don't see. They say, "This is horrible. I can't believe you did that. How could you make that comparison?" I say, "It's not a comparison." I said, "Your politicians are literally saying if you take the booster, you get freedom." So it's not a comparison. It's actuel. It's what's happening right now.
I find it weird that anyone would find that offensive.
Oh yeah, you see, you can only use Hitler, Jews, and Holocaust when it's Trump. You can't use it in any other instance. That would just be wrong. Can't do it.
Well, on the topic of China, let's play this clip. This is the Harvard professor that was busted out of Harvard.
Yeah. Because he was on the take, right?
Well, it's pretty well explained in here. He was double dipping, and it's just he was taking advantage of the system. To be honest about it, when I listened to this story, I'm thinking that I think it's all to do with the fact that he ended up lying about it. If he had been upfront,
it would have been less of an issue.
The university may have said, "Hey, stop! You have to stop doing this," and he would have. But no, he went too far.
A professor at Harvard University in the U.S. has been convicted of lying to federal authorities about his ties to the Chinese government and a Chinese university. Charles Lieber is a renowned nanotechnologist and the former chair of Harvard University's Chemistry and Chemical Biology Department. He was found guilty on Tuesday by a federal jury in Boston. Justice Department officials say Lieber received more than $15 million in research grants from the U.S. Defense Department and the National Institutes of Health. They say Lieber, at the same time, established a joint research lab for nanotechnology at the Wuhan University of Technology in China's Hubei province. The Chinese institution allegedly paid Lieber a salary of up to $50,000 per month and living expenses of up to $150,000 per year. The Justice Department says Lieber was also a participant in China's 1,000 Talents Plan that recruits high-level scientific researchers from overseas. Lieber was accused of lying to American officials about his China ties. U.S. law stipulates that people who intentionally make false statements to the government are subject to criminal punishment. The charges were part of a U.S. crackdown on suspected efforts by the Chinese government and others to obtain technologies from U.S. universities and institutional researchers in exchange for money.
So what does he get? What's his punishment?
They never said. I haven't found out.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll probably get a couple of years. But he's gonna be screwed, hopefully. But this kind of thing is going on. The Chinese, they still can't get it together to the point where they can't seem to not want to just steal our work because they can't do all the people they got over there, all the universities they got over there. They do good work, but they still feel obliged to steal our stuff.
It's interesting.
You said
something earlier about how compliant China is, and it's 250 cases. They just lock down, do what they're told, shut up. You notice they don't do that when they're traveling. They're just going to be racist for a moment. Chinese out and about in a different country, they're annoying and irritating. They stand in your face, in your zone. They ignore everything. They butt in line.
Do that in China too, by the way. It's not like they do it when they're traveling.
Well, they need to teach those people a lesson.
They have a different,
culture.
I'll argue about that. They have it's useful, by the way, when you're in China to be tall, and not
yes,
the size of a Chinese.
Yeah, you don't get pushed around that much.
You don't get pushed around at all. But they're the same way there. I mean, it's like the airport is a nightmare unless they have very rigid, a lot of guards, and they make people stand in a line. But generally speaking, they cut. They cut in line, they cut in line, they cut in line. They do that when they're traveling around. It's just part of their culture. They have they don't have it's like scissor merges on the freeway. Californians are very good at it. Because we have a freeway system that's set up for scissor merges, and that means you have a line of cars merging with another line of cars, and they go in one after the other. And when you see out of state plates or somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, you see they're the ones violating the scissor merge because they don't know any better, and they should be shot. But that's another story.
Wait a minute. It's interesting that because they do this in Europe too. In the California, it's called scissor merge.
It's called a scissor merge.
In Europe, it's called.
I'm sorry. You're right. It's a zipper merge.
Oh, okay. Zipper. Okay, good.
I know. I was thinking that's why I said zizzer. I was trying to say zipper.
All right. Good.
I'm getting old.
No, you're not.
The zipper merge is not everywhere.
No.
In some places, just every man for himself.
It's New Jersey.
Bumping.
New Jersey.
And that's China.
Oh, man. All right. I have a couple more stories that I think are interesting. Now, this story, I don't have the full story. I'm going to supplement what happened, but this, because it's not being discussed. We had the previous big stimulus, which was what, $1.5 trillion, I think. The CARES Act, was that $1 trillion or a little over $1 trillion?
It was 3.2.
Oh, it was the big one? Yeah. So where did that money go? Well, a lot of it went to a lot of different places. And many people are saying that the whole reason our worker supply is messed up is because people got too much money. There was just too much money going around. People are making other choices with their cash. Well, one thing that took place is I think $1 or $2 billion went to the historically black colleges and universities. I'm not sure if all colleges and universities got money from the CARES Act. It seems like there was some specifically earmarked for the universities, and they did interesting things with that money.
Federal pandemic relief aid has enabled the U.S. Department of Education to make significant investments in under-resourced schools, including many historically black colleges and universities. More than 20 HBCUs are using those stimulus funds to help alleviate students' financial burden by paying outstanding tuition and fees, giving them a fresh start. Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta, Georgia, was one of the first HBCUs to do so.
We're committing $5 million, assisting nearly 2,000 students with account balances. We are reinventing the college experience so that our students can graduate nearly debt-free.
Students we talked to said they were stunned and relieved by the unexpected financial assistance.
A lot of students were contemplating how they were going to start fresh, come up with thousands of dollars. With that announcement, that definitely allowed some students to just breathe.
So we're seeing a lot more movement here, and it's taking hold in many schools. We have a lot more on CNBC.com/investinYou.
So the second part of the story, which is not findable, at least not a clip that I could find, is that many of these historically black colleges and universities decided to give direct deposit into their students' bank accounts $10,000 cash to do with as they please. That doesn't sound like the whole purpose of the CARES Act to me. Seriously. Did every university get the opportunity? And what's the point of giving students $10,000? I understand the tuition. Okay. There's some unfairness there. I mean, does everyone get a break on their tuition? It doesn't sit well.
It's just a giveaway.
It doesn't sit well with me that took place. Just handing out money left and right. And a lot of it was stolen.
Well, I have those clips too.
Let's do it.
This is WION, the very interesting website that has a newscast.
It's an Indian outfit, I think.
It's Indian based.
Yeah.
But it's aimed at us. This is the scam, $800 billion missing monies.
Whoops.
So what? Here we go.
100 billion. So 100 times 1,000 million. We got to stop and think about that.
Now, the pandemic windfall does not end with you've got con men, you've got scammers, hackers. All of them are making big bucks.
Big bucks.
But where are these bucks coming from? Well, if you're in America, it's coming from your pocket. And how much money are we talking about? Around $100 billion. Let me repeat, we're talking about a $100 billion COVID scam. Let me take you back to 2020. Every country was unveiling a COVID relief package. The economy needed support and governments obliged. We had subsidies, cash payments, loans for small businesses, different strategies basically in different countries. But the United States of America implemented the mother of all relief packages. Put together, they used up $3.4 trillion. That was the size of their relief package, $3.4 trillion. To put that number in perspective, the entire GDP of Africa, the whole continent, is just $2.6 trillion. So America spent $1 trillion extra on stimulus. And you know what they say about big budgets? Big budgets, big leaks. In other words, corruption. Around 3% of the total budget was swindled, 3% of $3.4 trillion. Where exactly did this money go? Most of it was wrongly distributed by the government, around $87 billion in improper unemployment benefits. Basically, the wrong people got the money. What about the rest? Most likely gobbled up by scammers. Is anyone chasing this lost fortune? Right now, the Secret Service is on the job. They're the ones chasing it. But they've had little success so far. 900 active investigations, 100 arrests, and 95 criminal cases. That's where things stand. And it may seem like a lot, but money-wise, they haven't really recovered very much. Around $3.5 billion, that's all.
Oh, well.
Yeah, who cares?
Spit in the bucket.
So she has a few examples here of some. The one that she does at the beginning is that she says billion, or she means million, but this doesn't make any difference. It's ridiculous. You can play part 2 of this.
Just a reminder, this was public money, not $1 or $2 million. $3.4 trillion of public money. Why was there so little scrutiny over its distribution? Isn't America supposed to be squeaky clean? Well, clearly not. This money was supposed to keep the U.S. economy afloat. It had 3 big objectives. Number 1, $1,200 checks for most American adults. Number 2, forgivable loans for small businesses. And number 3, unemployment benefits. So good intentions, but poor implementation. The U.S. government did not check where this money was going or who was getting these loans. Was it really small businesses or conmen? Let me show you some examples. A businessman in Texas obtained $17 billion from the stimulus package. $17 billion. He had submitted 15 fraudulent documents to 8 different lenders. Do you know what he did with this money? He bought multiple homes, paid off his mortgages, and purchased a fleet of luxury cars. Doesn't sound like a small business idea, does it? Here's another example. This one's from Florida. Another conman secured $3.9 million in loans. Guess what he spent it on? A Lamborghini sports car. Again, not really a small business idea.
Yeah, bad rollout or by design. They needed to get money in. I'm telling you that something's messed up with the financial system. They needed to get it in. Just give them loans they can screw around with. Just give them the money. Buy a Lamborghini, buy houses, move the money.
I can't even imagine the disaster that it would have resulted from the Build Back Better bill.
Oh, we're not done yet. It's not over.
They keep trying to push it, but they got it down to $2 trillion of free money for what? For help. Then he said, well, it's for child care. The U.S. government shouldn't be paying for child care, for one thing.
And it's cash. It's not credits. It's cash.
Yeah.
If you got 4 kids, you're looking at $1,600 a month. Cash money. This is a good deal. Make no mistake, this is going to happen. There will be a Build Back Better bill. There'll be one for the UK. There'll be one for all the different European Union countries. And the
UK, and I've said it on the show before, they've already changed the nomenclature, and I think they're going to try to do it here, to Build Back Greener.
That's possible.
There's a document. It says in the document
Build Back Greener.
The title is Build Back Greener. It's an HMS document, and it's 380 pages. I actually posted it on No Agenda Social, and I'll link to it in the next newsletter.
I see it, the Build Back Greener strategy. Yes.
And in it says we've got to change Build Back Better to they say that we're going to change it from Build Back Better to Build Back Greener, and then they go from there.
Okay.
And Biden can't really get his, the Green New Deal part of it out of there, and he keeps talking about it, which is why Manchin, said, I'm not voting for it. It's got nothing to do with West Virginia. I'm voting no, because it's just basically screws his state, because it's about building back greener.
Yeah.
This is the transition they're trying to make. They're just shoving it down our throats.
Well, if anyone can shove it down our throats, it is the World Economic Forum, as I have a quick clip here of Klaus Schwab boasting about all of his stakeholders that are all members of the World Economic Forum.
If I look at our stakeholders, we have business, of course, as a very important audience, and we have politics, we have continuous partnerships with many governments around the world, and of course we have NGOs, we have trade unions, we have all those different parts. Media, of course, and very important experts and scientists and academia. Because if we are looking at the future, I think we should look at new solutions, and the new solutions will be very much driven by technological developments.
And you even have religious leaders, right?
We have religious leaders, we have social entrepreneurs, very important social entrepreneurs.
I love the guy who's interviewing, because he's just Schwab, oh yeah, we got media, we got social entrepreneurs, we got all the religious leaders. Come on, what are you trying to fight me? We got it all. Come to me, I'm Klaus. And the religious leadership is something that I've been looking at, specifically the Pope, for a number of reasons. And then this thing popped across my screen. This is on ITV, an interesting gaffe. The Queen, the hologram that is the Queen of England reappeared for the Christmas message.
Well, it's not a hologram by any means. I think it's a body stunt double.
Okay, it's a body, but the question is...
And against it, by the way, and there was a green screen behind her.
Yes. The question is the Queen alive or dead? Or how about the Pope? Listen to this presenter on ITV.
Too.
Meanwhile, the Pope's festive address focused on his prayers for the pandemic to come to an end. He said vaccines should be made available to those most in need. His death was announced. Excuse me.
That's weird. And I kind of hate it when the same clip is everywhere and it's cut off in the same spot. So we don't know if she corrected herself. But there is something I read from Professor Engdahl, who I follow. He writes about multiple meta items. And the title of his article was Sinister Convergence of Klaus Schwab's Great Reset with the Vatican. And what he said, and this is historical stuff that maybe you remember, I don't, but that he was friends back in the 70s with a Catholic priest known at the time as the Red Bishop. Does this ring a bell? Who endorsed Castro's Cuba? He endorsed Mao's Cultural Revolution. Is Dom Helder Camara of Brazil? And
it doesn't ring a bell.
Okay. Well, he developed a church movement known as liberal theology, a liberation theology. And what this article, which people should take a look at if they're interested, deconstructs is that this influence, this liberation theology is being carried through now with the Pope, with the same Pope who met this guy back in the 70s.
That would make sense.
Yeah. So in November 2020, Pope Francis declared a new social justice is needed, and that private ownership is not something obvious in Christianity. That's what the Pope wrote.
Yeah.
Let us build the new social justice and admit that the Christian tradition has never recognized the right to private property as absolute and immovable. So this, as you read Schwab's book, The Great Reset, he says, first and foremost, the post-pandemic era will usher in a period of massive wealth redistribution from the rich to the poor and from capital to labor. He says government intervention is needed to enact sustainable environmental policies. So not that these guys are Marxist or socialist or communist by any matter, but they're working this system from all ends. And this Pope, I'm sorry, he may be anointed by God, but he seems like a bad dude to me.
I've not been a fan, that's for sure.
No.
And you predicted him.
Yes. And he's from Latin America. He's from Argentina. And
and
the
that
Jesuit
would be a place where you'd come up with where this kind of thing would flourish.
Exactly. So.
Yeah, he was a bad choice.
Yeah, but maybe he's dead. We don't even know.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda.
Bad
Imagine
choice.
all the people who could do that. Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
That's pretty funny. Because what we're basically saying, and I agree with you, God made a bad choice. This will not stand.
Yeah, but it was through the cardinal, so
yeah,
and it could have been corrupted. Who knows?
I have a bad feeling about it.
It could have been It could have been Satan.
Yes,
David
possibly.
Wicker's on the top of the list. He's not Satan because he gave us $122.50. He's in Neptune Beach. He says you helped many get through the psyop of the year. Yeah, okay, that's true. Timothy McGraw, 11111. Brian Andrada, Albuquerque, New Mexico. We're thanking people who gave us donations between $50 and $200. Brian Andrada, 11111 from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Natalie Solites in East Amherst, New York, 100. Michael Rohrer in Powell, Ohio, 100. Sirnet Ned, hey, one of our artists. Shelby Township, Michigan, 100. Matthew Smith, 99.99 in North Royalton, Ohio. Kevin Pangopoulos. Panagopoulos. Kevin Panagopoulos in Cleveland, 8333. Does have a call out. He says, I love the show. My buddy Warren G is a douchebag. He hit me in the mouth and has been listening since 1354, or I have. Although I feel McCullough is a quack and a big one, with a big axe to grind. Okay, well, a lot of people obviously feel that way. He's got credentials. Sir Kevin McLaughlin, Duke of Luna and lover of America and boobs.
Yes. Boobs.
Have you ever heard of this guy?
Yeah.
He comes in every show with this donation of 8008. In digging through the archives, I found an obscure, that I don't remember hearing, boobs song that I'm going to send to you that maybe we can play in his honor on the next show. As an end of show.
We have the boobs song.
No, I'm telling you, this song I've never heard.
Okay. You'll send it to me.
You just take a listen. You say, oh, no, we play it all the time. That's
do you have it here? No, you're going to send it to me.
No, I didn't bring it for this show.
Okay.
I just thought I'd mention it because I didn't think, I'm stunned that Kevin McLaughlin is here once again with this boob donation. It must be.
He loves boobs.
Crazy.
He loves boobs. What can you do?
Yeah, in America, too.
Yes, America.
Sir Kyle of Bertram, Texas is on board with 8008. Gary Blatt, 7777. Samantha Antrim, Elk River, Minnesota, 75. David Forbes, 6006. Also likes boobs, but he likes the small ones. Kira Hendry in Chandler, Arizona. I wonder if she knows Phil Hendry. 60. Love to Justin. All love to Justin, she says. I want to make sure to get that in there.
Okay.
There's a couple of call-outs like that in here. Nate Warburton in Vernal, Utah, 5527. Marcus
Mueller.
Mueller,
yeah.
Mueller. Marcus Mueller, 5510 in Deutschland. John Gaynor, 5280. Chris O'Rourke, Oakland, Illinois, 5150, and he needs a de-douching.
Oh, we got that on demand for you.
You've been de-douched.
Roger Etsy in Tampa, Florida. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. 51 even. Thomas Hurtado, 58, and also with the greetings. Glenn Kukas in Ashaway, Rhode Island, 5025. Stay safe. Daniel Perry and the following people are all $50 donors. Name and location, starting with Daniel Perry, Mount Vernon, Washington, 50. Nicole Bailey in Charlotte, Michigan.
Hold on 1 second for Nicole Bailey. She says, please mention my brother David Bailey. He's a huge fan, and this is my Christmas present to him. Merry Christmas. Make sure he got that in.
There you go. Thanks, Nicole, from David. Antonio Costco in Hamilton, Ontario. These are all $50 donors. Josh Springer in Indianapolis, Indiana. Shane Morrison in Clark, New Jersey. Jesus Allen there in Austin. Todd Grubb in Capic, Michigan. Pamela Neiman, I think. It's in Amsterdam, so it's Pamela Neiman.
Nijman, yes, very good.
Nijman, I'm sorry.
Nijman.
Netherlands.
Heel goed, Jan, heel goed.
David Gordon in Carthage, North Carolina. And last but not least is Cassidy Eastwood, and she's in Oklahoma City. Now, there was a donor down in the $30 range that was knighted.
Yes.
It's not down there. I guess it's since it's in blue and he's going to be knighted and wants us to read this.
Yes.
That we'll break the rule and go down to $30 and read the note from Dr. Jonathan Boom.
Dr. Jonathan Boom, for the round table, I request a bottle of, how do I pronounce this?
Auchentauschen, I think.
Auchentauschen, 3-wood single. Auchentauschen, 3-wood single malt scotch to pair with the mutton. Mead is too many carbs. Nothing better than a Yuletide knighting, methinks. No jingles, but if time permits, I'd humbly request a Jobs Karma with a side of goat for any who need it. Stay safe. I am not the spook. Yeah, that's what spooks always say.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
The mead's going to be there. Karma. You can pass on the mead.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Of course.
Yeah. But it's always going to be there. You can't take the meat off the table.
The meat always stays on the table. We also have a make good found note for Paul Zimmerman, who
last show.
Yes, last show. 33333 sent a very long note. I shall read some of it. In the morning, I write to you as first-time executive producer and shiny new knight of the round table. I humbly request I be dubbed Sir 1% of the GTFO. Explanation follows. I'm the founder of a small pest control business, from which I fund other investments. Many have started very small, but over time grew into substantial holdings. A not significant number of them began with what seems like an insignificant amount, 1% of my gross income, an amount that is not burdensome in the here and now, but that when combined with persistence can snowball into great things. I was first hit in the mouth by No Agenda Social. Earlier this year, I discovered Mastodon and joined BitcoinHackers.org. After self-ejecting from the toxic cesspool of Facebook and Twitter. By chance or perhaps divine intervention, I began seeing No Agenda Social all over the Fediverse. Having somehow retained my natural curiosity despite public schooling, I checked it out, listened to a couple episodes, and found value. After quickly recognizing this, I began exchanging value for value with No Agenda as it was enriching my life since and has been since. In May, I added No Agenda to my 1% projects, utilizing the weekly gross receipts my business generates. I plan to continue in this fashion, so you will hear from me again each time I build up a 333.33 sum. And I think that's really nice. It's really cool.
I think so too. It's a great way to go.
It's called saving for some people. This used to be a thing. We used to do that. Save it for something or give it to something else, and we really appreciate the Paul. So I'm going to give you a goat karma for all that.
You've got karma.
And I believe that concludes our entire list. Thank you to the people who came in under $50 for reasons of anonymity. Also, people on those subscriptions, which we have many of that you can join. A lot of them are pretty fun. We have the mothership boarding pass, but we still have 1111s, 1212s. You can find it all. Just go to Dvorak.org/NA. You can remember it easily.
Dvorak.org/NA. It's your birthday. On No Agenda.
David Arell turns 33 today. We say happy birthday to him. James Shaw, to his wife Erin Shaw, double N. She's also celebrating today, the 26th. Ezekiel Chopper, happy birthday to his mom, Katie Chopper, 63 on December 29th. Philip Baloo and his wife, I guess that's an anniversary. That's December 29th, or it could be a birthday. They celebrate together, perhaps. Nate Warburton finally says happy birthday to his douchebag brother, Jake Warburton, 40 years old on December 28th. Happy birthday from everybody here at the best podcast in the universe.
It's your birthday, yeah.
And then we have a couple of a dame and a couple of knights. So
is Zimmerman on there? What about him?
Well, we knighted him on the last show.
But now with that title.
Then let's do that properly then. Okay, sir, 1% of the GTFO. Okay. Where is he? Okay. Yeah, Paul Zimmerman is on here. I'm sorry. My mistake.
Oh, okay.
He is on the list, yes. All right. We need a Christmas blade.
Oh, geez. Hold on a second. It's in the pile. Okay, got it.
Oh, nice. Up on the podium here, please, Charity Jennings, Dr. Jonathan Boom of the Northland, Paul Zimmerman, Jake, and Philip Baloo. All of you have unlocked the achievement of Knight and or Dame status at the Round Table of the No Agenda Knights, thanks to your contribution of $1,000 or more, and therefore I am proud to pronouncate thee as Dame Charity, the Wise Wizard, Sir Dr. Jonathan Boom of the Northland, Sir 1% of the GTFO, Sir Jake the Snake of the Bitter Lake, and Sir Phil of the Bluegrass. For you, we've got Hookers and Blow, Rent Boys and Chardonnay, Bratwurst and Hefeweizen, Guatemalan Espresso and Black Forest Bacon, Patty Melts and Pilsner, and Achtoshan 3-Wood Single Malt Scotch to pair with the mutton, which comes complimentary with our mutton and mead and with our breast milk and pablum and other stuff. So enjoy that. I see that you're going to split up your order here and separate the mutton from the meat. It's okay. While you're doing that, consider going to noagendanation.com/rings. That's where you can give all the pertinent information so we can have the back office send you that beautiful package as soon as possible, which also includes your wax to seal your correspondence with using your beautiful knight or dame ring, and the certificate of authenticity, which you should proudly be displaying on all your socials. And thank you again for supporting the best podcast in the universe.
No Agenda Meetups.
As expected, no meetup reports, kind of busy for everybody, end of the year. We do have a couple of meetups happening just before we switch to 2022 on the 30th. That'll be the next show day, Thursday, the Mile High Micro Amygdala Meetup, 6:30 Mountain Time, Hangar 101, Lakewood, Colorado. And on Friday, the 31st, last day of the year, South Jersey and beyond, the New Year's Eve Meetup, 8 o'clock at Mike and Cheryl's home. That could be a fun alternative for those who aren't allowed to visit their family. Go hang out at the Super Spreader event with Mike and Cheryl. That could be beautiful. In January, on the 1st, Oregon Local 33, we have Philly on the 1st, on the 8th, West Palm Beach, Florida, Mobile, Alabama. On the 9th, the Wild Boar Mountains, Lowland, Naples, Florida on the 9th, South Louisiana on the 12th, Durham, North Carolina on the 15th, Virginia and Lockhart, Texas, also on the 15th, Atascadero, California on the 16th, Charlotte, North Carolina on the 20th, the 21st, if you're in Brisbane, Australia, you're in luck, there's a meetup. Connecticut on the 23rd, 3 Mile Island evac zone, they're regular on the 30th of January, and Boston is scheduled for the 5th. These are the No Agenda meetups. This is a place where you can go. Be sure that you're not in the mass formation because you have social cohesion. You don't need to do it by virtue signaling with something on your head. NoAgendaMeetups.com, guaranteed a party. If you can't find one, start one yourself.
Sometimes you want to go hang out with all the nights and days. You want to be where you won't be triggered or held to blame. You want to be where everybody feels the same.
hoping you have some ISOs because I'm kind of struck out. All I got is...
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
That's all I got, which I don't think is great. It's not great.
Yeah, I got three.
Okay,
usually, a lot of are classics I comb through the archives for, but try this one. ISO safe than sorry.
Rather to be safe than sorry, for sure.
It's a lame, okay.
It's okay.
Try this one. Good try scumbag.
Good try, scumbag.
See, this is doable, but I'd pick it up here.
Good try.
Oops, I'd pick it up. Oops. Yeah, you know what I'd do. I'd pick it up at the good try. Right here.
Take the laugh
good try, scumbag.
That's doable. Okay.
Okay, well, then the last one is Hail Science.
Hail Science!
No. I'd say that's the one. How can you not hail science? Come on, science is infinitely hailable. Beautiful. Okay. Got it. All right, do we have anything else that before we got the Queen's dead, we got the Pope is dead, we've got the people dead.
I got one more China thing, which is interesting. Well, I got two clips. I got one, I didn't know anything that this was even going on. We're so poorly apprised. Of course, they sent this new rocket up on the James Webb Telescope, and they were making a big fuss about that.
We know James Webb is a problem. Did you know this?
Well, it's too late now.
No, they wanted to rename it, but not because James Webb, who was a famous NASA director, he was anti-LGBTQ in the 50s.
Oh, no.
Yes.
In the 50s?
Very, very controversial. Very controversial.
Well, screw them.
Mm-hmm.
But more interesting to me was the H-2A rocket launch. Did you know anything about the H-2A rocket?
I know nothing about the H-2A rocket.
Now, this James Webb Telescope was not launched by one of our boys. It was launched by an Ariane.
Yeah, the European Space Agency, I think.
Yeah, but then it turns out that the James Webb Telescope is a project of a number of groups, European-based. But this is different. The H-2A rocket's another commercial launcher. No one was ever heard of it. It's out of Japan. And here's a little launch that just took place with a little background on this rocket.
A Japanese H-2A rocket has successfully placed a British commercial communications satellite into orbit. The launch from Tanegashima Space Center in southwestern Japan took place early on Thursday. The H-2A rocket rose steadily and separated from its booster. It released the satellite into its planned orbit about 26 minutes after liftoff. It was the fifth time for an H-2A rocket to carry a satellite or probe for an overseas organization. The H-2A rocket boasts 39 consecutive successful launches. The number rises to 48 when the improved H-2B rocket is included. The success rate for those rockets is 98%, the highest in the world.
I've never heard of the H-2A. Everyone's shooting shit in the air.
They don't tell us anything.
All we hear is Elon.
Yeah, Elon.
Oh, Elon. We don't hear anything.
Elon.
H-2A. Is it big, this thing? Or what does it look like?
It's a good-looking rocket. It can send stuff out. It's not a monster.
Yeah.
But I guess it works.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Gorbachev is going around. He's still alive.
He's still alive. Yeah, that's surprising.
That's what I said when I heard this report. He was interviewed and he credited himself with saving the world by closing the Soviet Union.
Good work, Gorb.
Former Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev has stressed the importance of continued dialogue amid tensions between Russia and the United States over Ukraine. Russia's Interfax news agency carried an interview with the 90-year-old Gorbachev on Friday, one day before the 30th anniversary of the fall of the Soviet Union. The world's first socialist country maintained one-party rule by the Communist Party from its foundation in 1922. Gorbachev resigned as president of the USSR on December 25, 1991, ending its 69-year history. In the interview, Gorbachev said that without his relations with Western leaders, including personal ties, the Cold War, the arms race and regional conflicts around the world could not have ended. Gorbachev also referred to the current international situation. He said serious talks on nuclear weapons and European security have finally begun, adding that it's necessary to expand the agenda and continue dialogue even in difficult times.
Wow.
I'd like to meet this guy and get his autograph.
Really?
Yeah, I would.
He's probably on his farewell tour. And he's up there.
Well, that sounds like it.
Up there in the 90s. Up there.
90s is rough. Okay. I have some stuff. I'll just move it over to Thursday, and I think we'll be good to go.
Yeah, there's going to be some stuff happening, definitely. As the news media gets back to their jobs, and then, back to...
they're not going to get back to their jobs by Thursday. They're going to be, it'll be into January when they finally get back to their jobs.
Well, they got to start more psychological operations.
Yeah, well,
people are waking up, man. People are waking up.
I can put them back to sleep.
So we have this special hog story live, I think, coming up next at noagendastream.com. You can call in live.
Yeah, and I'm going to call in.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to have to go back into my email and find out what their number is. So I hope maybe one of them will send it to me so I don't have to go digging around. But
end of show, classic Jesse Coy Nelson for the Christmas, brand new Tom Starkweather for Christmas, and the Clip Custodian, Neil Jones, with an end of show mix. We will see you one last show before the end of the year, coming to you from the heart of Texas Hill Country, FEMA Region number 6 in the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I remain, I'm John C. Dvorak.
We return on Thursday, just before the end of the year, with another media deconstruction. Until then, remember us at Dvorak.org/NA. And adios, mofos! Such!
Don't trust China. China is asshole. Don't trust China. China is asshole.
China what?
For Christmas.
The United States. The United States.
China is asshole.
China what?
For Christmas.
The United States.
The United States. The United States. The United States. The United States.
Why would I be talking about Winnie the Pooh so much? Winnie the Pooh is constantly being banned in China. And that's because the leader, Xi Jinping, is very sensitive. And he doesn't like the fact that people compare him to Winnie the Pooh.
China is asshole.
China what?
For Christmas.
The United States. The United States.
China is asshole.
China what?
For Christmas.
The United States.
The United States. The United States. The United States. The United States.
Don't trust China. China is asshole. Don't trust China. China is asshole.
Look, the science is clear and overwhelming. I want to start by acknowledging how tired, worried, and frustrated I know you are. I know how you're feeling. I know you're tired. I really mean this. I know you're frustrated. We all want this to be over. We're still I know vaccination requirements are unpopular for many. They're not even popular for those who are anxious to get them. My administration has put them in place not to control your life, I don't think it's but to save your life. You could argue that we should have known a year ago, 6 months ago, 2 months ago, a month ago. I've ordered 500 million of the pills. 500 million pills. 500 million test kits. You can get 5 to 11-year-olds vaccinated. A tool we didn't have until last month. Even if you're fully vaccinated, you should wear a mask when indoors in a public setting. The various shots that people are getting now cover that. You're okay. You're not going to get COVID if you have these vaccinations. Because Omicron spreads so easily, we'll see some fully vaccinated people get COVID, potentially in large numbers. I know some Americans want this. If you can safely celebrate the holidays with your family and friends. The answer is yes, you can. You and those who celebrate are vaccinated. The unvaccinated are responsible for their own choices. Vaccinated. But those choices have been fueled by dangerous misinformation on cable TV and social. People with booster shots are highly protected. Nothing from join unvaccinated. No, nothing from good vaccine. Announcing today, the federal government will purchase 1/2 billion. It's not million, billion with a B. Additional at-home rapid tests. Additional billion with a B.
What some districts are doing is using testing where they'll test the close contacts of kids immediately to make sure there's not other asymptomatic cases that are going undiagnosed, and then test them at some kind of interval, maybe at 3 days and 5 days. Test. Using testing where they'll test.
A major upgrade of our ability to get people testing, with literally billions of tests being available. Tests. Literally billions of tests.
The HHS model showing 3 to 5 million daily tests will be needed by January or February. Test. 3 to 5 million daily tests.
Part of that is we're still not doing enough overall testing, PCR tests.
In the U.S.
In the United States, about 1 million to 1.5 million per day. Remember, at one point we were talking about doing 20 or 30 million per day.
Billions of tests.
20 or 30 million per day.
We need to have enough tests for every American family to be able to test twice a week if they so choose. Every American family test twice a week.
Dvorak.org/NA. Hail science!